Okay, now we're live. Sorry about that. I had a little audio issue. I should have got Defango in here to do my audio for me. So, anyways, so guys, yes, Kyle Curtis had responded, I guess, to the. Well, I don't know if I would even call this a response per se. This is what is called a non-compliance to the order that was issued to him by the court. Now, I know a couple of people have talked about it. A couple of disreputable lawyers have talked about it. In Time has talked about it. And by the way, I think Nick did a pretty good job talking about it. However, I haven't talked about it yet. And I have actually talked to my lawyer. So you guys get to find out tonight all the wonderful things that have so many problems with this non-compliance of the order, which, by the way, doesn't fulfill the requirements of what we were asking for in no uncertain terms, and we'll get into that. But I've got two people in here that are joining me for this. You know, I'm just going to ask the question, then one of you two fine people can answer it. Do you know what month this is? Anybody?
Is it Fuck You Steve month?
No, it's close though. It's December. You know why it's December? Because it's Christmas come early. Yes.
Oh.
It's Christmas come early.
Did we go forward in time or back in time? Is it December 2020 or is it December last year?
It's like you watch Time Lords and Doctor Who. Time is like wiggly, kind of,
wibbly wobbly.
Fucking lame. Fucking lame.
So this is now December. This is Christmas come early to me.
Yo, what up? It's me, yeah, boy.
By giving this to the court, I don't think Kyle realizes what he has done, and I don't know who actually helped him with this, but I guarantee it. They probably don't know much about the court system. I don't know, but it's something amazing. But anyway, so let's go through this. I did speak to my lawyer for quite some time. I got most of my questions answered. There's just one that's still unresolved, and that's how much they're going to be asking for each count, because he's liable up to $25,000 per count that he was found liable for. So let's start this off. And by the way, as you guys noticed, I have Cheshire in here and Red's Rhetoric. If you didn't recognize those two voices and you can't figure out which voice is which, that's your problem, not mine.
Why the fuck am I here?
I don't know.
I'm not sure where I am, to be honest.
I don't know where you're supposed to be.
I was doing some art in the dark.
And I was trying to cry myself to sleep, and then all of a sudden I'm in this call.
So we have In the Dark art and crying yourself to sleep with tears. I tried NyQuil for that. It works better. Yes.
Are you planning on putting us on the screen?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Unless you want to. I mean, do you look that good that I need to do that? I can.
Hey, chat. One in the chat.
Oh, you know what they're going to answer.
Two in the chat.
Oh, God damn. Like, seriously?
Hey,
at this point,
fine, whatever.
At this point, it should be a dictatorship. You decide.
Well, I've seen what both of you look like. As long as you're not on camera, I'm fine with it.
How's the Clorox eye drops working for you?
You know, I had to increase my prescription after I saw you, a lot. It's I had to go for my optometry exam.
What, they went straight to the paint thinner?
Yeah, exactly. It's like staring into the sun of ugliness.
There you go.
All right. So, you know what? I don't think I'll be able to show you guys because I'm actually giving you guys Google Hangout through a browser that doesn't work on OBS. But,
whatever works.
Oh, I know what I can do because, Chess wants to be on camera. I could do this. I can actually...
Don't make this more complicated.
Oh, we're having fun. Let me see here. What I'll do is I'll just put it in the upper corner.
We want to have fun.
So here we go. Now...
Fun? What is that?
Is this fun you speak of?
You speak of.
Oh,
woo. Well, that won't work because... All right, let me get you guys another Hangout call because I know I can show it. So one second. Just give me a second. I got this. Just make people wait. All right, guys. 1 second here. You guys are waiting with great anticipation. It's not going to be one of those 4-hour hangouts either. It might be a couple hours. This is good stuff here. I know you guys can hear me typing. I know. I'm sorry. Forgive me. All right, so I got to type. So, and no, I wasn't doxing anybody by typing. Amazingly enough, I know, right? So give me 1 second here. Let me give him the link again, and then I can actually add it into the call. Because for some reason, I was on Firefox, and Firefox does not work through OBS. It actually just makes it black, and I'm not sure why it does that. I've fixed it before by the hardware accelerator, but for some reason now it didn't work. So, all right, that's the link, and then Cheshire. That's the link. Okay.
Yep.
Now you're back, and now I can actually add you guys into the call. And then I'll get to the presentation here. Windows capture. What I miss?
Nothing. I'm just laughing at the chat.
Why? They should know be my now.
I love chat.
All right, now I've got it. All right, now you'll be able to see her in 30 seconds here, or less. Why do you cut off? You look like half your stuff's cut off. Is that just me? No, this is me. Okay. All right.
We're off to a great start.
Yeah, it's great. All right.
If this was a movie, Netflix would label this slow burn.
All right, here we go. Now we got it going on. This is why I have Bullinator do all my producing. You guys realize that, right? I mean, I'm fully aware. It's not my forte. All right, so let's start this off here. So, okay. So this starts off as ECF number 17. There's already a mistake. This is ECF, which stands for electronic court filing number 18, not number 17. They designate that. So I already right now, if there's a lawyer that helped him with this, that lawyer is incompetent, and we already know there's a bunch of incompetent lawyers out there. So that's what the court will designate the ECF, not the person filing it. So I don't know why he hard copied this, because it was hard copied because it was on the things shown yesterday. So this was actually not even supposed to go to the court. Let me make that very clear. This is a letter that was supposed to actually go to my lawyer. This has nothing to do with the court. The court's not asking for this material. This stuff is supposed to be turned over to my lawyer, and then we go over it, and then we tell the court they've complied, and then how much we're asking for. So why they send it to the court makes no sense.
Yeah, because the court already made their decision. There's nothing to talk to the court about anymore. It's about negotiating between the lawyers about how much was actually being made. Then they can go back to the court and say, this is how much we're asking for. Here's how much that he showed us he had, ... Exactly, then the court can make that decision. But until that information is provided to the lawyers, you can't negotiate and you can't make that decision.
Bingo.
That's why it was only a partial judgment. It was missing the monetary amounts because Kyle didn't show up. Yep,
exactly right. And here's the thing. There was a default judgment. This is considered to be what's called discovery. This would have been, if he would have entered this before the default judgment, although it would have been pretty bad, but at least would have been something, right? And the judge would have said, okay, look, this is not what we're looking for, but we're going to give you a little leniency. You cannot enter this stuff after default judgment. You don't do discovery after the case is over. He lost. That doesn't work that way. And any lawyer that's worth anything that would know about anything about this would tell him that. But unfortunately, I guess he's talking to some people that are trying to get him screwed, which is great. I'm enjoying that. So anyways, he addresses it to the judge and to Mr. Scott Brown, which, by the way, is not the name of my lawyer. Yeah. Don't think my lawyer wasn't too thrilled about that. And you can't even get the lawyer's name right. I mean, come on. This firm doesn't like Kyle from the beginning, and this is just like adding worse for wear, right? I mean, because that's not my lawyer's last name.
Make it better. Make it better. My God.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh God. Okay, so just going through here, and we're going to start with the ownership and partnership and task. First of all, none of this is relevant. None of it. The reason being is because the partnership tasks are not relevant to the books. They're just not. The books are financials. The financials are the monies. Where did the money go?
Are you suggesting that Kyle is wasting everybody's goddamn time?
Oh,
no.
It's worse than that, because he has already been found liable by the court for fraud. Right? For fraud. And he is committing he's going further with that by actually legit showing that he commit fraud. I mean, it's like, this is I don't get it.
I'm convinced. I am convinced that Kyle is essentially trying to say, oh, I didn't commit this fraud. I was too busy over here committing this fraud.
I don't know.
Don't pay attention to that fraud over there.
I have talked to 3 lawyers, or two lawyers actually, on this, and both of them have said they don't know what the hell they were thinking. I mean, and we have a lawyer in the live chat right now, and I have talked to him too. He was one of the lawyers I have talked to, and he's just blown away. I mean, there's just no words to describe this. So what Kyle's trying to do here, long story short, you guys can read it for your own. What he's trying to do is he's saying that the total revenue $49,000, which is wrong, because he didn't include a few other things. We're not going to go into details on what he forgot to include, but I will say that because somebody mentioned it before, he didn't include the Amazon. The Amazon had several $100s worth of stuff bought for him. That is assets. He didn't include that, which is a failure to comply with the court order. Yeah. Matter of fact, do we have anybody willing out there? Because I don't want Cheshire or the Reds to focus on it, because I want to focus on this. Do you have anybody willing to count how many times he has failed to comply or in contempt of something in this document?
Oh, hold on. I have something for that.
Do you? You got a counter? If she has a counter. Does she got like a ticket counter or something?
Yo, I got this. Are you ready?
Yeah. What you got?
Wow, aren't you excited?
Yeah. All right, that works.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, that works. All right.
So
So
is it too loud?
Total revenue would also include all the assets and everything like that. So also PayPal, which was I don't know if there was PayPal or not, but this seems a little low to me. Now, if you guys remember, we told you guys that there was about $60,000 total, and that was $50,000 in $49,000 straight from YouTube. There was Patreon, Teespring, Streamlabs. There's also, I think, some donations through PayPal, and there's also the assets, which was the vMix and the stuff bought through Wishlist. So it's over $50,000. So now he's trying to claim $69,000 in operating expenses. Anybody that knows financials would look at this and go, "What?" The way he's trying to go about doing this is he's trying to claim that he's trying to change the contract after the fact, applying to say that he was a subcontractor rather than a 50-50 general partnership. That's already been established. It was a 50-50 partnership. You can't go back after the fact, especially after a default judgment, and say, "Oh no, I am doing this as a subcontractor," which was never established. This is called testimony. You cannot give testimony after a default judgment. You're injunction against it.
Right? So do I get to ding it again?
Yes. You can ding. Then he claims that I owe him money. Anybody who knows that if I owe him money, he has to go to court to sue me for that. You can't just ask a judge, "Hey, by the way, he actually owes me money. He's not the plaintiff in this case." And
I feel like
real quick, Greds, real quick. Would you agree? And then I'll suggest too. Would you guys both agree that any competent lawyer would recognize that you can't tell a judge, "Oh, he owes me money"?
At this point, I don't think competency is the question.
I mean, just unreal.
Yeah, I don't think competency has any place right here, right now, because I don't think that's the right question to ask or the right assertion to make. Honestly,
it's just
you're talking about the difference between competency and honesty, right?
Yes. Well, okay, honesty. Yeah, well, they kind of go hand in hand, but sure.
Well, here's the thing. Let's just cut the shit. I'm gonna cut through all the shit. I do not give a flying fuck what's in this document because I know it's bullshit.
It's all BS, yeah.
And because the facts here are simple, I fully believe that Kyle is talking to a few people who have a single goal in mind, and that goal is to drag this process out as much as possible. Why? Because fuck Steve. That's why. Keep in mind that the people Kyle is speaking with don't actually give a fuck about Kyle.
No.
So Kyle's
they're
speaking to these people.
They're screwing him just as hard.
Yeah. So if Kyle getting fucked even harder legally to the point of contempt will result in Steve waiting one more day, hour, or second, then they are all for it. This is why we are still waiting to this day for Kyle to comply with a court fucking order.
Yeah, and my lawyer told me pretty much what we're looking for the court's looking for, and I'm not going to go into details on it. Somebody had mentioned invoices. That would be part of it, because I watched another show, but I'm not going to go into details in this particular hangout of what is required, because you know what? Kyle could figure that out, right? I mean, let him ask his attorneys. But this is not it. This is basically just saying, hey, this is my word. This is the case. It's not even audited. There's nothing to back up any of this stuff. These are not the books. Straight up, these are not the books. These are some financial.
Anybody who called these books does not know what they're talking about.
He did include a P&L, but unfortunately, with the P&L, you also have the general ledger, and you also have other financial documents to support the P&L. None of those were included. None of them. And so you can't just throw out a P&L and say this is the P&L. That's not the books.
So he didn't comply with showing the books.
He did not comply with showing the books. No. We are going to send him. We'll get into that. I put in the description. The lawyer's going to be sending him another letter tomorrow, letting him know he failed to comply with the books. He has not turned over the channel to me, so that's a major non-compliance. That already should have been done. The books he has until I think Thursday. Is that right?
I can look at the calendar.
It's the 5th or the 6th.
It's about to be Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thursday will be the 6th.
Yeah. It's about the 5th or the 6th, so give or take. So then he tries to go into copywriting. All this is inadmissible, and all this is nonsense. All copyright belongs to the actual business. So everything about this is just dismissed. The court doesn't care about any of this. This is him trying to give testimony when all the court wants is books. He cannot claim copyright for material that was part of a business. He just cannot do it. And when he tries to claim copyright, what I do is I just fight it, and he wants to go to court in it. I ask for a dismissal by the fact that it's already been ruled upon, and it's done.
Again, all of this is just stall tactics.
This is all stall tactics and show.
Well, this is tactics. How to get arrested and sent to jail for something there's really no reason for me to go to jail for 101. Well,
this is, and I've been honest from day one. I'm saying this, everything we're doing very meticulously and very methodically. So when he does go in from the judge, he'll have to explain to the judge, which we will do voluntarily at first, on my lawyer's recommendation, because if he doesn't show up for that, then he is what comes after that.
Hey, Steve, do you want me looking out for super chats?
Please.
Okay, because there's 3.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can. Yeah. Okay. So from. Is that Orgasmatron 1? Yes. An amazing name. $10. How much to see Red's face? ?
Wait, do you have life insurance? Life insurance have to be pretty expensive, or at least optical insurance.
Failed at engineering for 2 says Kyle overcharged himself by his records ?
Yeah, you can't have a business partnership with 2 partners and then claim one as a subcontractor. I watched Nick's thing tonight. I'm sorry. I watched Nick's things tonight, and Nick thing had very good when he was doing this little monologue with himself. Right? He's like, "Oh, hey, I'm going to hire you to do these graphics," and he's like, "Oh, I accept." Exactly. That's not how any of this works. That is how none of this works. And plus, even if he was to file for that, if this was before the default judgment, if he wanted to go that route, he would have had to provide actual invoices, which we're not giving. And by the way, no invoices were ever given. This was never discussed. Nick was right on that. That has to be a partnership thing. This is all just absolute nonsense, abject nonsense.
Yeah.
Fail at engineering for 2 said #cut through the bullshit.
And also, update on the clock. We're at 1 day, 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 35 seconds.
There you go.
Ryrez for 5 said, "Hey Kyle, the bell tolls for thee." And S. Weingar says, "Work on me avatar, Chesh." Yeah, feel fair.
All right, so I don't know if you guys knew this, but like I said, Reds, he's trying to claim copyright. So once they get the channel back, he's been trying to manipulate it such that he thinks that all the thumbnails are now under Kyle Curtis Designs. Wrong.
Oh, you mean the thing that existed, like 30 days ago?
I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I would absolutely love it if Steve decided to be like, well, actually, all this is owned by NonSequitur, but I'm willing to sell it back to you if you want.
Oh.
and then quote the prices that he gave.
Oh. Oh.
You know what? For the first episode, just because I'm a little shit, I would love to have the opening just be one of his music, one of his actual pieces. Because
hold on, it's owned by NonSequitur now. I've got my drawing stuff set up to do a stream tomorrow, which is kind of some of the stuff I've been working on in the background the past couple days. But can I have Kyle's music to play while I'm drawing?
Absolutely. Because here's the thing, the entire entity that is NonSequitur, which means all the episodes, all the music, the Teespring, the Patreon, everything belongs to Steve.
Yes.
Which means the thumbnails that were made for NonSec, the music that was made for NonSec, the fucking artwork that says NonSec on it, it all belongs to Steve. End of story. Anyone saying anything other than that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about.
They're welcome to talk to my attorney. I'm if they pay him, but
well,
his time's expensive. This is not a cheap attorney. This is a senior partner. You think that we hired some internet attorney? No.
Why do you think I'm so confident here? It's because we actually have someone who knows their shit.
Hi, Boo.
Hi, Boo. And he makes you could ding this one because this is not a lie, but it's a fatal mistake. Oh my God, I didn't say it yet.
Damn,
Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Dave, you okay?
Hey,
are you okay? Because there's a lot of
my microphone fell.
Okay.
My microphone fell. That's
all right.
all
So
happened.
the defendant, this is pretty ballsy. The defendant has prepared a negotiated fee for his copyright material. You don't tell a judge that. You don't tell a judge that. You just don't do that.
You can prepare all you want. It's irrelevant.
Yeah.
I prepared 1 month
This is
late.
not discovery. This is not the time for any of this. This would have been before. If he wanted to have been pro se, he should have got an actual attorney like I did. But if he wanted to do pro se where he represents himself, like I said, this judge, from what I understand, will give pro se people as much rope as they need to hang themselves, from what I understand. So
I came in to actually say something that Dick Dawson said to me about this.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "This is the equivalent of going to work for McDonald's and running the till and charging $60 for a Big Mac because you are so great at making them."
You're a pro Big Mac maker. Dick Dawson is exactly right. And Astronomy Live says Leonard French should totally cover this hilarious copyrighted stuff.
I can run my contacts on that. I can run my contacts on that. Be like, hey, you wanna make a video? Here you go. Here's some material.
Now, if like I said, if Kyle wants to attempt to sue me on that, be my guest. But it's just an instant dismissal because it's already been determined by prior court case, so there's no court case to be had on it. Okay, so then he goes into hosting task. He's trying to claim, and by the way, again, none of this is admissible because there's nothing to do with anything. He got my name wrong too, by the way. But you can't say, look, I supposedly did 95% of the work, therefore it's not 50-50 when he's already made it to 50-50. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter any of the stuff. I could put something like this and say, look, my time's valuable. I charge $200 per show. I do this. I do that. We don't itemize things like that. This is basically, he's thinking the judge is an idiot. And by the way, this was not supposed to go to the judge, which is another thing I'm sure going to piss the judge off. This is not something you send to the judge. This was supposed to go by the demand letter from my lawyer to him. It specifically says, please let me know when you can send the financials and make sure we have somebody here in the office for them. This was supposed to go to the office.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you send it to the court? Somebody explain that.
Failed at engineering.
More importantly, why would you hand it out to people on the internet? Like, why? What's the point of that?
Oh, my lawyer said make sure you download that video from yesterday, from some unscrupulous lawyer that did a review of this stuff. Because Kyle's claiming to be compliant when he's not. The judge will not be happy about that.
Failed in engineering.
My lawyer's words.
Said that's the cutest giggle I have heard from Steve. And Cajun Crustacean for 2 said Kyle hired Dewey, Cheatham, and Howie.
Yeah, I it's so funny. It's like I've been telling people the facts from day one. I mean, he was liable for fraud. Now you guys can actually see that there was fraud committed. When we're asking for the books and we're getting nothing, now you can see why we weren't getting anything. Now we can see why. Where's the money, right?
God's Auditor for 5 said, Steve, my voice is property of God's Auditor Inc. And you owe me after the fact for every time I've been drunk as fuck on rum and coke. Your approval isn't needed.
Damn it. I'm going to be poor after
Apparently, he also owns a copyright to my picture. My actual picture.
Wow.
Like, if you look at all those pictures at the bottom of this shit, there's a picture of me there.
Oh,
the one he used to put in the...
Yeah.
The one... Well, and Steve McRae's picture of him in the General Custer suit, too. Apparently, that's his.
It's his, yeah. And that wasn't his that did that. I don't
keep this in mind. Keep this in mind. The art, the thumbnails, the music, the animations during the shows, those were all done for NonSec.
Right.
Those are property that all that artwork and music stuff is property of NonSec, and Steve now owns NonSec, which means It is his property,
and he's in contempt.
not Kyle's.
He's in contempt because he hasn't turned the channel over to me yet. That's already a contempt. OPT.
Well, we know why that is.
Hey, Reds. Doesn't that mean that you can charge FE Corp for using their logo?
Ooh.
Yeah.
For your thumbnails?
OPT lawyer says your lawyer is wise. Yes, my lawyer is quite good. That's why I told him I trust my lawyer. Look, unless you guys have actually talked to my lawyer, there's nobody there's nobody here that knows much about this case as I do. Nobody, right? And so you're trusting anybody else to get your information, unless they've heard it directly from me, like I've talked to Nick. You're probably going to get misinformation. I mean, think about it. This is supposed to be a group of skeptics, but I have groups of people claiming they're skeptics that have been listening to people that are clearly not competent enough to even understand the basics of this stuff because they're completely BSing people.
I believe I already addressed that.
Yes. Okay. So, by the way, again, yes, he spelled my name wrong here. Somebody noticed. So this is.
I knew it. Didn't I not say that when we started?
What?
That I was waiting for him to spell your name wrong.
Yeah. And by the way, a couple of fake accounts use that same spelling. Just saying out there. Just gonna throw that out there. So yeah, none of this really matters. This is not important. The judge doesn't care about any of this. My lawyer word he used was nonsense. Again, this has nothing to do with anything. These people are not in the lawsuit. None of these people are in the lawsuit. These were not hosts of the show. They were not they were brought on by Kyle. He called them hosts. They were not part of the partnership. They had no fiduciary responsibility to them. I asked Kyle in an email, did any of them expect to be any way compensated for coming onto the show? He said, absolutely not. He said that they're coming on will not have any monetary thing. This is what I've told a couple of them, is that by being on the show, their compensation is to promote their own channels, but they're not part of the partnership. They're not part of the distribution of funds. They're not part of anything regarding non-sequitur.
Just because you are a co-host does not mean you're part of the partnership.
Correct.
Period.
Right.
Period.
I was a 50-50 partner as determined by the court, which I had obviously had evidence for. And they weren't. They were not part of the partnership.
Whoever decided to help Kyle with this shit,
I love them.
My God, why is it that
I'm gonna send a bottle of scotch.
I mean, holy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like, holy actual shit. I hope no one helped Kyle with this because
they did.
Whoever they are, they need to be fucking ashamed of themselves because this is absolute garbage.
I want the group, my people here, the ones that are watching that actually listen to this channel, as skeptical thinkers. If you got this as a judge, what would you think of it? I mean, again, OPT lawyer. I asked him about OPT lawyer doesn't even know how to respond.
I can tell you, but in order for me to tell you, I would need a waterproof receptacle.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's seen anything like this before. So again, operating expenses. He's trying to claim operating expenses by paying himself. Well, okay, let's hypothetically break this down, and Nick did a really good job on this. If he was to pay himself, where are the receipts for this? Where are the checks for this? Now, he was supposed to fly out for NunCon and give me cash or a check. That's what we were talking about before. I was kind of kidding about cash. But, I mean, it was supposed to get something drawn on the corporation because he was talking about that before. I don't care how he paid me. I had no idea if he wanted to pay me cash, check, or charge by giving it to my PayPal, giving it to me directly to my account. It doesn't matter. Money's money, right? However he paid me for it. But when I asked him, we need to see the financials before I take anything out, a draw or whatever we're going to do on it, he couldn't tell me what the financials were. He couldn't tell me what the books were. He couldn't tell me who the CPA was. I'm not going to take money when I don't know what the hell's going on, right? I'm like, no. We need to get this straightened out because I have to figure this out for proper taxation. Because I still don't know. Think about this, Reds. If he's claiming this, right, I would love to see his tax report. Might be subpoenaed at this point.
Might be.
Because by Monday, if he doesn't
it could be subpoenaed separately at this point.
Yes.
Like as not part necessarily of your case, but now as part of a whole nother case that essentially the government's going to put on it.
Someone made a good point. I think he may have hired Anthony Riley to be his lawyer.
Would make sense.
It would, considering that, because the only person who could actually help Kyle go and make this fucking document here would be the same type of person to win Dumb Fuck of the Year.
Yeah, OPT lawyer says this is a whole lot of information that's mostly irrelevant and unresponsive. You ask what this is, and I'll tell you it's non-compliance. Yes, my lawyer said straight up, this is non-compliant. He said it's what was the word he used? It doesn't meet the criteria for the court order, basically, is what he said. Yeah. So okay, so moving on here. So he again, he's trying to double dip. He's basically saying, look, I get paid to myself. He thinks that after the fact, we've already established the type of contract it was, he can change it to a subcontractor. How does that work?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and like I said, the reason why I'm going over this is if he would have submitted this prior to the default judgment, it would have been a little more interesting. But then he would have had he didn't have this one notarized, by the way. Did you guys notice that? This is not notarized. So it's not even something that's to the court.
Dude. That's step one, dude. Get it notarized.
But I mean, so he screwed up there because this is not something that he's saying is a sworn affidavit or sworn statement to the court. This is why I'm supposed to go to my lawyer instead. He doesn't need to have a sworn affidavit to my lawyer.
And Chesh typing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So the fact that he didn't have this notarized, what does that tell you? That he screwed up. So why would you send something to the court that is not notarized? That's not how it works. This is almost like a pro se thing. It's almost like an ex parte. I mean.
Well, that's because this document isn't supposed to accomplish any other goal other than stalling.
This is just okay. You know what? I think this is my own personal opinion here, Reds. I'll ask the live chat what you guys think. I think this all this was to try to basically bolster the people out there that just want to hate on this channel, and they will take it as hook, line, and sinker because they don't give a shit about facts. They don't care about anything that's true. As you said, all they want to do is come after me. So it doesn't matter. They're going to believe this no matter what because they're not people that are skeptics any longer. I don't know if they ever were, some of them.
I mean, that the thing is that, Kyle is nothing to them. So if they can use Kyle as a weapon, who gives a shit if Kyle gets fucked over? As long as you are, and as long as you end up waiting even longer to get what's rightfully yours back, win-win.
Right. Because the longer I wait, it makes it worse for Kyle. Exactly. So I'm cool with that.
Hey guys, remember that thumbnail that I actually made for Non-Sequitur and that picture that Kyle was using of himself everywhere that kind of looked Grand Theft Auto-y? Yeah. Well, that's a shame because I charge about $3,000 an hour and it took me about 4 hours to make those each.
I gotta go for $1 million. Just make it $1 million.
So I'm pretty sure Kyle owes me like, I don't know, $8 million.
Hey, Chesh, I was looking at this really nice red Tesla P100D. Right? Do you think you can help me out with that?
What do you mean? You already own it. It's red in color.
So again, where are all these weird invoices, right? And you can't. I mean, it's so bizarre that he's trying this because again, none of this matters, and it only goes to the fact that he was found liable for fraud. And this is like, I'm asking my lawyer, doesn't this appear like fraud? He's like, yeah, it's pretty bad. So I'll tell you guys later toward the end exactly what our plans are. And I'm fine with telling people. You know what's funny, Reds? I've actually been telling people our legit plans, and yet people still do stupid stuff. And I love that.
Ash says that you think I type these comments for free.
Oh God! So everybody who leaves a comment, they get charged. I have to charge me $1 now.
Well, can we look real quick back up at that chart where it said that that Kyle did this and Steve
consult the chart. Consult the chart.
Yeah, wait. Can we just look at that for a second and then just start adding things to the chart? The one that said that I can't. I have to wait. I can't see it on the internal.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, one second. Let me
There's the chart.
There it is. Yeah. Okay, I can see it now. Sorry. So yeah, that one. So are we gonna start putting in like, hey, how come Jimmy isn't on there?
For what?
Is Jimmy on the list of pictures? I didn't see Jimmy.
Why is it flashing like that?
I have no idea.
You guys just see it flashing?
It's not flashing now.
Well,
now it's gone.
Yeah.
Now it's flashing again. Oh, now it stopped. Okay. So scroll down. Oh, no. Yeah, that's it. So does that mean that you can charge the show for your rent or booking guests and like it says delivery, but it doesn't charge any of these things. And then if you go down, to the rest of the stuff, it doesn't say, what about that animation you made of R and G-Man?
Yeah, what about the one I made for Red's Rhetoric with the flaming trash can, you know?
Yeah, the flaming dumpster.
That was CGI. Like, that took me several days to make that, by the way.
How about all the work that Boole and the other mods did in the Discord?
How about
what about anybody who recommended a guest? What about
hang on, hey Boole, how long did Debate Roulette take to get all that going? How many days and hours? Is he still in here?
Debate Roulette?
Yeah.
Debate Roulette, to initially figure out Debate Roulette probably took me and David McGinnis about 2 days to put that thing together. Afterwards, to set it up with Discord, because the second one is when I introduced Discord, that took probably another day.
Okay, so 3 days, figure 8 hours for a day, $150 per person. That's $300 a day. That's 8, 16, 24. That's $2,400 right there.
Can I point out something obvious here, though?
Okay, 24,000. How much is that? $2,400 right there. $2,400.
Josh, typing. Can I point out something obvious, though?
Yeah.
Okay. If you guys remember, on my channel, I played a recorded phone call where Kyle was trying, rather poorly, to get this 50-50 partnership back in the air, where Kyle and Steve would go back to the way things were. But Kyle had a few stipulations. One, he wanted to maintain complete creative control of the channel, which means he wanted to be the one to make all the art, all the music, the graphics, whatever. And now in this document, he's like, well, look at all this work I did. Dude, you didn't give us an option to fucking contribute. You designed it that way. That's like me going to your door and say, hey, do you want your lawn taken care of? And you say, no, I'll do it myself. And then I come back the next day, do your fucking lawn without your permission, and then try to charge you for it.
Yeah, and I've seen him do a thumbnail in less than 3 minutes.
Please.
You know, and so...
Yeah, I was going to say, he could actually... That's the one thing he was actually really good at was doing the work. I mean, the art does stand on its own, but he could whip those out.
But that's
really
why.
fast.
But that's why I got with him in the first place, because like you have the artistic abilities, and I have the ability to talk to guests.
The Athens
and bring him in.
The Athens for 5 says I should have charged when I was making my video. Sad face.
The Athens. Yeah.
Remember, this was Kyle's design. Kyle wanted to do all the artwork for it. And so, fine, we'll go ahead and do it. And now he's bitching that, oh, but I was forced to do all the artwork. At least that's what it appears to be here. I had to do all the artwork. I had to do this. I had to do that. And I need to be compensated for my time because of all this fucking work that I did. Dude, you didn't even give us a fucking option to even make thumbnails or do graphics or music or shit like that because you wanted to do all of it. And now you're bitching about it?
And did we not even notice that he was trying to take over everything?
Yeah, well, keep this in mind. But on the death of the non-sequitur during that phone call, we said take a break for a week, and we will go ahead and take over everything. We'll do the music, we'll do the thumbnails and the graphics, you know, whatever. We can manage on our own. We clearly have the capability of doing this on our own. And when it came to art, I'm sorry, we have a Cheshire.
Yeah.
Yo, what up? It's me.
And Let Luma says, sounds like a type of embezzlement. He took the business funds needed and for himself and gave them to himself as a contractor to separate from the business. That's obvious fraud. Okay, so let me talk about this real quick.
Why is show production there?
Well, hang on. I want to talk about this 1 second. So, it is called conversion, by the way. I asked this very specific question to my lawyer about this. He was liable for fraud. He is also liable for what's called conversion. That's what this is. Now, my lawyer had talked about embezzlement. That is a criminal charge. That would be done by the state if the judge deems it. If judge wanted to go about it, he said we would have to go down to the sheriff's department and we would have to file a criminal embezzlement charge. That's a whole separate type of litigation. My lawyer was very honest, and I'll be honest with you guys. He said, don't worry about that right now. Focus on the civil case. Focus on getting, Kyle to comply with the order or be in contempt. That's the primary goal. And we don't pay our lawyer to give us bad advice. So, and like I said, I'm transparent as hell. So I'm telling you right now, we're not going to go after for embezzlement at the moment, because it's just the lawyer says stick with the civil stuff first and get that out of the way. And I think that makes sense, obviously, because there wasn't anything criminal as far as the fraud or the embezzlement. That would be done afterwards, and the judge can turn that over any time as a criminal case, right? That's up to them to do that if they want to. I mean, we could, but not right now. We're not going to do that. Yeah.
Theoretically, the judge could look at this and say, well, he's admitting to embezzlement and how he went about it by creating a phony shell company, and he embezzled the funds. So
Right.
that's literally
I
go
didn't
to the
commit
DA
fraud
with this.
here. I was busy doing it over here. God's Auditor for 2 said, "See, according to Kyle, you owe me for being drunk." And
You're always drunk.
Kawasa for 5 says, if Kyle billed himself and paid himself for the Kyle Curtis designs, then did he pay taxes on that? Isn't he self-implicating for tax evasion?
We don't know. We might have to actually subpoena his tax records, maybe. We don't.
Well, there's a few issues.
There's so many issues right now because of the fact he's non-compliant as it stands right now, and so we don't know. We could come up with an idea of how much we can ask the court, but I told my lawyer, let's go for the contempt, and my lawyer agrees at this point. So.
So why does he say show production on there when Boole was literally the producer?
I don't know.
Well, he does put a note there. It says production for some shows outsourced. Well, I'm going to sit there and have to say at least put the word most there. At least be honest.
And by the way, before I produced them. It wasn't Kyle.
Kyle never produced them. Frankie did a couple of them too.
Okay, but the vast majority, the initial ones, I was producing all those.
God's Auditor says he's drunk right now and the meter's running.
I did want to read this. It's not a super chat or anything, but still. As Steve McRae, I said your lawyer was wise. He's proven to be even more than that now. That is extremely solid advice. Focus on your case now. Let any criminal stuff come later.
I agree with you. And I told my lawyer, look, I'm going to, whatever you tell me, you're paid to give me the best legal advice. I'd be an idiot not to take it. And my lawyer loves that, by the way. I had told John, my other lawyer, but he went to go to some kind of estate planning instead. But he was very, very amazing. And he's just like, yeah, it's weird when people hire lawyers and then they don't take our advice and then crap happens. It's like, yeah, I'm like, nope. Whatever you guys say, I'm going to take your advice. So I'm taking my lawyer's advice. That's a smart move.
I can finally do that Photoshop adjustment of that painting I did and then charge Kyle for it.
Yeah. Hi, Ryby.
$8 million, please.
Yeah, Ryby Jenkins, because she used to be pretty popular.
Hi, Ryby.
She charges $1 million just to show up in my live chat. Yeah, it's expensive.
Shit, this is getting expensive.
Right? I mean, Ryby's worth it.
How does anybody do anything on the internet? Jeez.
Tell me about it.
I had $1 million. I would have Ryby, come on professionally for the show. Although she doesn't do that any longer. You guys don't even know who Ryby Jenkins is, do you?
If I had
do you guys know who she is?
Yes.
Oh, you do? Okay. I was a big fan of Ryby back in the day. Still am, obviously, but and now I'm a fan of Egghead, by the way. I love Egghead. I do, Egghead. Right? He's just awesome.
He's adorable.
That's just gonna be weird for me. But
God damn, all you motherfuckers in the chat are getting expensive.
Right? This is gonna be really amazing.
It turns out that every time we make free content for people on YouTube, we're just getting charged out the ass.
Wait till you guys get billed for how much I'm billing you for actually having you watch this kind of stuff. I charge for that.
Steve is actually charging us for showing up on his show.
Yes, I'm charging all my moderators too. The privilege of moderating. Just toss me $1 billion and we'll be even. All right, so he's breaking down the operating expenses by the graphics and stuff like that, delivered by McRae. So what? No, the judge and the lawyer doesn't give a crap about the breakdown of the responsibilities. None of that is relevant. Past the time to even bring any of that up.
Well, and I like how I like the fee applicable column, right? Fee applicable, wait. So you're basically saying I don't work for free with this statement. Well, guess what? You expected everyone else to, you little fucker.
This is such a bizarre thing because it's missing so much of what actually goes into the show.
Oh, God. It's just... I saw this and I was like, No, please, dear God, let him submit this. Please, dear God.
Hey, remember I was saying I was going through all the non-sequitur comment section, and like, if it was actually this expensive to make graphics and designs, literally nobody would have this kind of stuff on Twitter. Yeah. Or on their Twitch streams or thumbnails on YouTube. Like, who you think, like, I don't know, let's say Markiplier doesn't make his own thumbnails, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't anymore. I'm sure he used to, but I don't think he does anymore. He's got an editor now. You really think Markiplier, with the amount of money he even makes, is paying this much for his thumbnails?
No, hell no. $69,000 operating cost. It's like, oh my God. Okay.
Super Vibrantly chat. For 2 says price per super chat $4.
God damn, you guys are funny. Okay.
Saying that during a $2 super chat. Holy fuck.
Brilliant.
That's brilliant. What's fun? I know what's funnier, this document or my super chats. Okay. So he puts in here, is therefore adjudicated, ordered, and decreed that the defendant return administrative control and primary ownership of the rights to the NonSequitur Show podcast, YouTube channel, and other associated parties' business endeavor to the plaintiff, which have not happened yet. This is why when we do the what's going to call it an order to show cause on Monday, probably.
And keep in mind, people, that is not Steve saying that. That is a judge saying, you give that shit to him.
Right.
Look what he tries to do right after that.
Ownership rights.
Right after the judge said that's what's going to fucking happen. He does this.
Yeah, ownership rights. That means I own everything. Yeah, it's not just, hey, it's back to 50-50. Now, we are going to do some stuff on that to ensure that, we got some legal stuff there, but as of now, the contract is basically unenforceable because it's considered to be breach of fiduciary duty and fraud. So the contract becomes null and void and is no longer enforceable by either party, basically. So we're not trying to enforce the contract. The contract has already been established. This is the case. Now what's the damages? You can't go back and change any of that, right? So you can't go back and say, well, the contract was supposed to have this. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. So the plaintiff has released private messages of the defendant. So he did too. After the case, yeah, it doesn't matter. And by the way, that was only to show that I was telling the truth from day one. Due to the personal messages with the following accounts, the defendant will be deleting the NonSequitur Twitter account as of the day of this letter, and as the account also contains private messages. This is a simple account to reestablish and does not affect the operations of any channel's functions. Too damn bad. Now,
it does actually, because there's 5,000 followers on that account right now, and 5,000 followers that may or may not be the same people following Steve McRae.
And let me make this very clear. There was an order not to delete anything electronically. All messages on Twitter are stored on Twitter. Nothing has ever get deleted. Anything that was deleted, we will get from Twitter. There's ways of doing it. I know how to do it, actually. And we'll send you to the court as contempt.
Yeah, weird. Mm-hmm. How did you figure out how to do that?
I looked around. It's very difficult. Do you know how to do it, by the way?
I'm the one who sent you the video about how to do it.
Did you
yeah,
send
that
the
was
video?
me.
Okay. I looked around there. I remember watching a video on it. I don't remember somebody sending it to me, but I'll take your word for it. But yeah, so we're not kidding you. There are ways of doing it, right, Chesh?
Well, that was when we did the Melody episode on Cafe Corner because
I remember now.
Your
yeah,
DMs
right.
disappeared.
Yeah.
Exactly. As the Twitter account also contains private messages, all I'm going to say of that is sounds juicy.
It does. Yeah. It sounds so juicy.
So,
I've got 2 pictures here that were sent to me of the Kyle Curtis changing his stuff around to get rid of non-sequitur.
Well, here's the thing. You never want to mix. I mean, like, for example, I want to talk. I acknowledge the hypocrisy here. My email account is also the one I use for business as well, but I'm not trying to hide anything. All my emails somebody can see. I don't care. Makes no difference to me. Who's messaging me here?
That's me. I sent you the wrong thing. Hold on a second.
Okay. Do I need to look at it now or later?
Well, it's if you want to show it.
Oh, I'll get to it maybe.
Yeah, you can if you want to. You don't if you don't want to. This is just when Kyle took over the stuff.
All right, so if he does anything to the Twitter, that is non-compliance. Again, that's actually contempt. And
it's destruction of property too.
And he's telling the judge he's refusing the court order to do it. You don't tell the judge. You don't tell the judge you're not going to do something a court has ordered you to do. You just don't do it. This is why you don't mix the business and the private messages. Like he had a separate Kyle Curtis account, but then he tried to incorporate the non-sequitur Twitter account, which we both had access to, that he removed.
I literally just sent you the screenshots of that happening.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, that's what that was.
Let me see. What screenshot is that? I'm looking at it. I can show it, but I don't know what we're looking at here.
So that's that the non-sequitur account has been locked down.
Oh,
right?
oh.
Probably not deleted. And then here's the screenshot of him.
Yeah,
please follow and message me.
Yeah, okay.
That's him switching.
Yeah,
over.
so he had his own account, and he tried to take over the non-sequitur account because he was trying to take over everything. Which, by the way, don't think we didn't notice. Kyle was trying to take over everything. This is why we were like, okay, we see this happening. He's trying to play this game where he's trying to take over everything, and we were trying to cut it off at the from the beginning without destroying the show. And this is why Bullinator, myself, and Reds were like, okay, what do we need to do to prevent him from destroying the show? Because we knew exactly what's going to happen. And if he wants the death of Non-Sequitur Show, we during that discussion we had with him, we knew what was going to happen. We said, once this goes public, it's done. He's going to basically destroy everything, right? So, this is why we were telling him, don't take this route. And what was his famous words to you, Reds?
That was the wrong move, buddy.
That was the wrong move, buddy. Yeah.
And speaking of wrong move, I'm looking at NonSeq Show, and it says this account doesn't exist. So I think he may have already gone forward with the deletion of the Twitter, which means he just fucked up.
Let's see. It's there for 30 days. So is the NonSeq Twitter gone?
I am sending it to you right now.
Sending so many screenshots.
Yeah, it's gone.
You're murdered.
Yep, and I'm also going to post it in the live chat as well.
Okay. Where you post? Let me see in the live chat right there.
Yeah, this account doesn't exist.
Yep.
This account doesn't exist at NonSeq Show.
Awesome.
I think he just screwed the pooch on that one.
So did somebody hurry up and grab that handle? That'd be great. And so we can have it back just in case.
Well, yeah, it doesn't matter if you grab the handle, but you can't. No, unless
I wouldn't bother.
Yeah, I don't care.
Don't do anything. Do not do anything.
Yeah, I don't want the handle anyways. That's not the handle I want. But
we'll get this account back. Kyle, like I said, all this is just a delay tactic. It will be back.
Apparently, at Kyle's Twitter is gone as well.
Mm-hmm.
Going to check that now.
Anyway, so he done fucked up right now.
Yeah.
Account no longer exists.
Yeah.
Kyle as well.
All right. So he's obviously in contempt there.
Oh, ding.
Ding. You know what? Do a double ding for that one.
I put it away.
Oh, I like the ding. All right. So yeah. So as you guys can tell, he's trying to hide stuff, right? I mean, the fact remains we can get the Twitter back, and we can probably get the data from that particular account. Something on Twitter never goes away. That's one thing about Twitter. Actually, was they were actually complaining about Twitter. Even Twitter says when they delete stuff, they don't actually delete it. So there is ways to get that back from Twitter. But the fact that he destroyed something electronically, that is contempt.
Yep.
I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
This is now officially contempt.
Oh no! There's other contempt things before that was official. This is just adding on to it, I think.
No. I meant about the Twitter thing. Mm-hmm. This Twitter thing.
Oh, yes.
This is contempt officially.
This is written contempt.
Yes.
This is what contempt right here.
That is.
Well,
this is written and filed with the court contempt.
Well, yeah, that's
what I don't. Yeah, I don't want
evidence to back it up.
Yeah, I don't want the ad thing, the non-sec thing. It wasn't my Twitter thing. To begin with,
whatever, that's fine.
That I wanted,
what Reds is saying, is that now it's not just on paper that he's not going to do something or that he's going to do something.
Yes.
Now he's actually gone and done it. That's the difference. Reds is the differentiation he's stating.
So how many times of contempt did he have so far? He hasn't given me the account back yet. That's a contempt charge.
7, I think.
Okay, so I mean he's pretty high. Now I know 2 of them for a fact are enforceable. The fact that he hasn't given me the 3. He hasn't given me the books. He hasn't given me the primary ownership of the channel, and he's destroyed the Twitter. That's 3 contempt charges right there. Mm-hmm. It's all probably gonna be wrapped into one, but this is what when we send it to the judge, saying that he's failed to comply. This is. And the reason, I'll tell you guys why we're doing this. I really don't mind. Again, I've been transparent from day one. I thank all 500 people, 400 people who are watching that have been trusting me, and I'm sure half of them are people that hate me, but it's okay. They're still watching. Thank you. But I've been transparent, and so I'll always let you guys know what I'm doing. I don't bluff. People who know me now, I have not bluffed on anything. I've told you guys the truth. The reason why we're doing this, and Kyle can find this out, it's perfectly fine, is the slower we take it, the worse it becomes for Kyle. Because the judge does give pro se people enough rope to hang themselves, but when you do stupid stuff like this, you're probably going to end up in jail. Right?
I don't see the NonSequitur Show Facebook either.
Well, the Facebook, I don't know how the Facebook is going to work because we don't know who actually he put the password in here and stuff like that, but he made all those passwords public, so now we can't get into those accounts, right? So I can't even validate the Patreon account, which is a problem because now Cal can't even validate his own numbers, so he screwed himself that way. Yeah,
that's a whole different issue. Failed at Engineering for 2 says, I want to see Kyle's ass whipped by the judge.
Well, like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to send a letter to him tomorrow. By Monday, if again fail to comply, the judge, what my lawyer says the judge is probably going to end up doing, and what he thinks is the best, is that he tells Kyle, you need to come in front of me personally and explain what's going on. Okay, it's a order to show cause. If he fails to do that, if he fails to go to court, and first of all, he tries to pull any of this project, that'd be epic. But if he fails to go to court, what do you think happens then, Reds?
Soap on a rope.
Yeah, that's the time where you get a order to show cause or a contempt. That's where they say, you know what, you've now exhausted the court's patience. Now we send the sheriff's department out to get you. So we're doing everything systematically so the judge makes this happen. Because when the judge wants you, now you're screwed. So I'm happy to tell what's going on about that. So by the way, we're going to skip those parts right there. Even though the passwords are no longer working, it doesn't matter. We're going to skip those parts. None of these accounts work, so it doesn't really make a difference. We can't get in any of them because he didn't give the passwords to my lawyer like he was supposed to. So, all right, revenue. So he missed a few things here. Again, he missed the assets from the Amazon wish list, which is not technically revenue, but it's considered to be assets. Now, Bull, do you remember if there was a PayPal at all?
I think that would be rolled in with Streamlabs. Most people set up Streamlabs to pay out through PayPal.
But was there ever a non-sec PayPal? I don't remember.
I don't
think so.
No, I don't think so. I think it probably went to his private one, but regardless, It's still, if it went through Streamlabs or was donated to PayPal in the name of the channel, then it's.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Did he get any donations directly to him from PayPal? I mean, from like.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea. But what I would do is that if and when, you get when you get the Streamlabs back, you can look and see the history of what it was attached to and see if that is actually a non-sec PayPal. And if that's a non-sec PayPal, then you've got a whole nother company to go get it from.
Yeah. Okay. But we'll say this YouTube, which is AdSense, basically Patreon, Teespring, and Streamlabs. Okay. I'm just going to, for arguendo, say these are the main streams. Okay. He's trying to claim, obviously, like his own expenses, right, from a profit and loss report. None of this really makes that much of a difference here. Do you guys want to read it? I mean, it's
all bullshit.
What's this about your plaintiff account? What is this about your Patreon?
Yeah,
I didn't read that.
I remember something like that meeting with this before. So, all right, so we'll go through it. So the plaintiff's Patreon account was used in the initial months of operation. The defendant has no visibility of monies received. No, my Patreon was for my channel. Now, yes, they were put in the first couple episodes because I still was promoting my channel, right? Just like we put in other people's Patrons. Like I have Cheshire's Patreon and Puck's wish list in my videos.
Send my dog Chewies.
Yeah, we were not using. This is complete BS. We were never using my Patreon for the show, ever. That just doesn't make any sense. When did this happen?
It takes like 2 minutes to start a Patreon. People don't get it twisted. It is not complicated. Start a Patreon. Receive donations.
Do you guys remember when we started Non-Sec Podcast and even YouTube? Did we ever say that we had a Non-Sequitur Show Patreon that was under my name? No, that was my Patreon. Just like I said, we put other people's Patreons in videos as well. If I put Cheshire's Patreon here, does that mean it's my Patreon? We're using her Patreon? No. It means that she has her own stuff that we're trying to push to help her out.
I do art.
In the dark.
In the dark. Alone. In a corner. Under a blanket.
In PJs.
in pajamas.
Do you wear onesies?
I don't own a onesie.
You need to get a onesie.
I need to get a onesie.
We all need to get a onesie. I'm freaking freezing. I'm not even kidding.
Right.
I'm not on camera, but I got an undershirt, a sweater, a flannel shirt, and I got a Levi jacket on. It's that cold. It's supposed to get 27 degrees tonight, and I don't think you guys understand. In California, if it gets below 32 degrees, which is freezing, we die as Californians.
I am currently now, if anybody in the chat right now wants to make suggestions about what onesie I should wear, let me know, and I will search it on Amazon, and I will put it on my own damn wish list.
No, you know what? Starfire. I've been watching. I know it's a sidetrack. Sorry, Reds, but I've been watching Titans because I finished Doom Patrol. Now I'm watching season 1 of Titans. I kind of wish I would have understood they were all kind of interrelated a long time ago before I watched what was it? The crossover, the Crisis, right? Yeah, event. So because I'm a big fan of that stuff. Titans is really good. Dark. Oh my God, Robin, that dude is awesome. But anyway, sidetrack.
He's Nightwing in that one. What are you talking about?
Don't spoil it for me. I'm only at like the 5th episode.
Wait, what?
Which one's Nightwing?
Oh God.
No, Cyborg
Never mind,
hasn't appeared
I didn't
yet.
say nothing.
It's just Raven, Starfire, Robin, and
Hey, Steve.
yeah, sorry. Anyways, sorry.
There you go. Back
You're
on track.
very tangential right now.
My ADD is kicking in that I don't actually have.
Pay attention, Steve.
All right. So, Cheshire is bringing up. So, the Patreon account, yeah, that's just BS. So, the defendant requests the plaintiff to make those figures as monies earned by him and highlighted this discrepancy number 6 management accounts. You don't make any request when you're showing the books. You're not suing. You don't have no authorization to make a single request. That's not how any of this works. If you want to have a request, you have to do what's called a motion to the court. Then the court looks over the motion, then signs it as an order. Okay? That's how it works. And that cannot
Steve.
be, wait, hang on. That cannot be done after a default judgment. He's barred by that. That's an injunction against entering any motions or orders regarding the case by a person who has lost by default judgment.
Yeah, but do you think they give a shit about how it actually works?
No.
I mean, they're literally...
The people that are buying into this BS, how dumb does somebody have to be to read this and think that this is legit? You've got to be beyond my comprehension, flat earth level of what the fuck.
It's like trying to remove the stink from a lump of shit with an empty can of Febreze.
I mean, it's just... Now, like I said, my lawyer's like just saying this nonsense. He's like, the judge doesn't care about any of this stuff. Don't worry about it. It's like, this is going to help us later on, because when we're showing that, when we file for punitive damages, which are going to be up to $25,000 per count, you don't think this is going to help us? Probably, right? So, all right. So, operating expenses when the profit and loss accounts are supported by invoices or receipts where possible. Where are they? They were not submitted with this. You cannot just submit something without that. And by the way, the invoices, you cannot submit post invoiced. That's not how any of that works. You have to. There was no invoices for the last 3 years because nothing was invoiced. There was no subcontracting work to be done. And if he tries to submit fraudulent invoices, that's fraud on the court.
That's probably why he didn't submit them too.
Do you think he knows? No, I don't know. Does he realize that's fraud on the court if he does that?
Well, either that or the person who did this for him knows it's fraud and it would really get him screwed.
Why does this entire document look like an attempt to gaslight the court?
It kind of does, right? Well, again, the judge
I don't think it's designed for the court though.
It's not,
because the court would never fall for this.
The judge is never going to probably even read this. This is not for the judge. This is for my lawyer.
This is designed to do? This is designed to do is gaslight a certain audience of a certain group of people who seem hell-bent on being it's all it's done, and I can I'm almost convinced that I know who helped him with this. And I think you all know who I'm talking
I have some
about,
suspicions,
but I'm not going to say the name.
But it doesn't matter who helped him with it. Whoever helped him with him did me a huge favor, so I owe them some champagne. But we got some.
Kawasa for 5,000 says people with doggo need no onesie. Place big doggo under blanket and his living furnace.
True.
It is true.
Also, we got another one. Where did it go? I lost it. Where did it go?
I read it. Five pounds.
Gala Scummer. The next artwork project coming soon from Kyle Curtis Designs will be vehicle license plates. Fucking oof.
Yeah, because I doubt the judge will ever probably read this. The judge doesn't read these things.
Judge isn't gonna read it. He's
this is not for the judge.
This is bullshit. You're out of order.
No, I don't think that's it.
You haven't complied.
No, I don't think that's going to happen. Let me tell you what's going to happen. This was sent to the court when it's supposed to go to my lawyer. The judge is going to go, okay, the lawyer has to go through all this and figure it out. The lawyer is going to already went through it and said, this is abject nonsense. This is not compliance. We're going to issue a motion of non-compliance, which is a order to show cause next week. And then the judge will probably tell Kyle, you need to come in front of me and explain why you haven't fulfilled the court order. And if he tries to pull any of this stuff in front of the judge, go for it. Go for it.
Nova.
He said straight out, the judge is not going to tolerate any of this.
Yeah, Nova in the chat said, man, Kyle got some really cheap legal representation. The fact remains that you get what you fucking pay for.
Right? I mean, do people not understand that we have a very good lawyer from a very good company? I mean, Ruf has
they don't.
Great.
And they keep making that fucking mistake
over and over and over because, I mean, Ruf has been gracious enough to support the legal costs. Now, we may or may not, I'll be honest, because all this is going to be public anyway, so I want to tell you the truth. The only thing we're unsure about is if we're going to recoup the legal cost. North Carolina has weird laws when it comes to the legal cost. We think that we probably will, but we cannot be certain of that. However, my lawyer is pretty damn sure we're going to get treble damages. He's like, that's pretty much a given. We're going to get treble damages. So whatever we sue for, let's say hypothetically, which is not going to happen, but hypothetically, if we just took the numbers given and we took away all the expenses stuff, because all that operating cost is nonsense. If we just went by the fact it was $50,000 there, and that's including $49,000 in cash, plus the vMix, plus the software that he didn't include, plus the Amazon wish list and all that stuff. So let's just say $25,000 minimum. 3 times that is $75,000. That's the lowest amount I can see myself being judged for a judgment for. Is lowest is $75,000. That's the bare minimum. Now, before I said about 90, because it should be about 60,000 plus. So it's 30,000 times 3, which is 90,000 plus $10,000 in legal fees, give or take. But we don't know if we're getting the legal fees or not. So that 100,000 maybe go down to 75,000. But then we've got up to $25,000 per count of unjust, the unfair and deceptive trade practices, which is a given. He's giving evidence of unfair and deceptive trade practices. This is not by best practices. So we can sue up to $25,000 for that, each one. So we don't know how much we're going to be asking for, but it's going to be quite a considerable amount. So you guys can see where I get the numbers from. Everything I said about the numbers were spot on, right? I said it was around $60,000, and I still think that $49,000 that is $10,000 lower. I think there's some issues there. But we said that the non-sequitur made some money. And so the people that are saying, "Oh, how could they made that much money?" You all were wrong, and you guys knew you were wrong.
Can I take? Can I just let me just have this one right here. The evidence is clear that the defendant delivered the mandatory design, music, and video production and branding work as shown to increase traffic to the channel. Now, not to toot my own horn here, but when Non-Sequitur was still a thing, my channel was also going on at the same time. There were cases quite often, actually, where I got more live viewers, and the only thing I did was screen share my fucking screen while I had a Google Hangout window open. No, it's not mandatory for design, music, video production to increase traffic to the channel. That's not a mandatory thing. It's nice to have. It makes your shit look nice. But the thing that brings traffic to your channel is whether or not you have good content.
Yeah.
And guess what, Kyle? Underneath your leadership, you did not have good content on the channel. That's why even with your music and your pictures and your transitions and whatever, your ratings were in the fucking toilet the very moment you screwed over Steve.
Yeah, as soon as you screwed over me and people were like, what happened to Steve? People still were watching some of his stuff afterwards, and they're like, what the hell is this crap? I've said numerous times, how many people messaged me and said, dude, this is junk. Kyle does.
Yeah, exactly.
Crap.
A lot of people said, well, you have shit guests, you have shit talking points and topics, but thank God for the fucking transitions and music.
Yeah, well, I've had probably 36 people, give or take, that have messaged me that have said we didn't even watch it for the graphics because we watch it on, we just listen to it. We'd rather have it on podcast even.
Exactly. They're nice to have, but they're not mandatory to have a successful channel. Like I said, it basically adds polish to what's already there. But if what you have there already is a turd, it doesn't matter how much flair you put on it. No one's going to care because it's a turd.
Yeah. Jessica asked a good question. She says, why not do contact on your channel, Steve McRae? I do have good contact on my channel. I just had a really good discussion with Michael from the Canadian Atheist Podcast the other day. Great discussion. I've had Ozzy on. I've had Nick Suter on. Ask a Philosopher. I had Landon Kurt Knoll on. We have amazing, but we're saving some stuff obviously for Non Sequitur, right?
Have you not seen Caffeine Corner? That shit's
Caffeine on Mondays.
amazing.
Yeah, so I don't know what. Yes, we have really good stuff on the channel. Jess, can you read that what I have highlighted though? Because I love this.
Oh, administrative access was required to undertake those tasks as listed to ensure success of the channel and increase views per show.
Ergo, he wanted to have primary control of the channel. He told me for SEO reasons, which I've documented, submitted to my lawyer, right? That is on record that he did say for SEO reasons, and I believed him. Okay, I'll take the hit for that. I didn't know anything about SEO. No idea what search engine optimization even entailed. I did not study it. I did not learn about it. So I left that into his purview, right? And so when he told me to give him the main channel, I was like, okay, now think about this. Had I not given him that channel, then all that would have gone in my name, which was perfectly fine. I would have been able to do the books probably because I've took finances before. I took accounting. I would have done the books. I would have done them properly. But I would have needed to figure out a couple things. I have an accountant friend of mine that's been doing the books for years for companies. I just contacted her again not long ago. She's willing to help out. Chess from who I was told you about. She's going to give me some advice. But that would have all been my name. So I'm happy to take that responsibility, and that would have gone to my income, and then I would have paid him on probably a 1099 or however. He didn't want any of that. He wanted to have full control. And I recognize that now, right? And so I think that this goes back from day one, that he just wanted, that he was planning all this, from day one. He wanted to have control. And then when people started going, well, Steve's, pissed a few people off, ergo, you need to get rid of him. Yeah, it's like he thought that, that's what everybody wants. Well, they were wrong.
They were not acting in good faith.
Yeah. And so this actually demonstrates that this claim was correct, that he did commit a fraud, because I asked him specifically I asked my lawyer about this. And my lawyer's like, yeah, when he said that to have administrative rights, to have you transfer ownership, that was fraud because you relied on that information going forward for the business. And I did. So, all right. So, the defendant invested a significant amount of time of his commercial design skills and experience into the channel, and all shows created by all the images and music for the channel. What about my investment of my time by the conversations I had with guests that Kyle would have been capable of having?
Steve, you're not important enough. Shut the fuck up.
I was 5%.
And what about the time of the guest? What about the time of the guests?
Bull, you weren't even 0%. He didn't even include you. You were even 0%. If Kyle was 95 and I was 5, where were you? What about Bull?
I have no idea what I was doing.
What about Bull?
I mean, higher math, I guess, right?
But one of the best episodes on there was my debate with Jism. I don't remember, getting paid for my time and effort there, as well as all the other shit I did for Kyle in the fucking background.
Yeah, how about the Reds Rhetorics t-shirts that they were selling in the Teespring?
Oh yeah, by the way, just so people are aware, he promised me a percentage of that.
He did
proceeds.
actually.
I never got not a fucking.
Yeah, he actually did. That's not even a joke. He did promise you that.
I want to bring something up that I haven't actually talked about with very many people at all. And certainly haven't put it out on anyone's channel, but I think now is a good time to do this. When I first started with the NonSequitur Show, one of the things that he promised me, or that we discussed as a fee, this was literally when he asked, right after I did the Telltale Atheist Show as co-host, right after I did that, and he asked me to do this and replace Frank as the producer, he said, "What would you want to, what would you charge to do this?" He asked me. He did ask me. We did have a negotiation. I said, "Well, just do some graphics for me for my show, bring your best." And we did discuss those graphics. And he never did that. If you go watch Bring Your Best on my channel, those I did myself. I never got even what he did promise to me. And I said, anything going further than that, we will talk about, because I know you're not monetized now. So the idea that I was going to eventually get paid for my work was always in my mind, and Kyle implied it.
Yep.
So that's bullshit.
By the way, I would so wear that, Chesh. By the way, I would wear that. All right, so so there's a lot of unstated promises that he had with people. Now, I wanted to get Dave and I were negotiating this, that we thought that Dave could get some money off the merchandise. We know that the Teespring made about $2,000, give or take, whatever it was, $1,700, according to what Kyle put out. I can't access the account, so I don't know for sure. But let's round it off. Let's just say it made $2,000 for just to make easy.
I don't
numbers.
trust any of his numbers.
No, I don't either. But let's just say I just want easy numbers. So $2,000. Dave, we were going to work out a percentage of you, that you would get a percentage of that, and that would help pay for your because you would promote that.
Right. We actually had a meeting between the three of us. This is back when Kyle did communicate somewhat. We had a meeting about this.
Yes. And that was my idea, by the way. That was not Kyle's. He was not a fan of it. But I was like, we need to compensate Dave somehow. So why don't we do this? If Dave will take some time to promote the promotionals and the merchandise, then he gets paid directly from that account. That made sense to me. Made sense to you. Did it ever happen? Nope.
No.
Yeah. Jess, you want me to show what you want us to wear?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, show that.
Okay. I would totally wear that for any kind of meetup that we have. Totally.
Okay.
You would not. Why not? It'd be hot, but yes, that would be awesome.
And we have to do a dance, like a jig.
Oh, and I have a message from David McGinnis, because he reminded me of something. He said, "How many times did David McGinnis edit Kyle's pictures, his profile stuff?" And I had to do this from the get-go too. I had to go back and take the pictures that he handed me, because there wasn't any transparency, so that the cameras could show through, for example. And this drove me nuts too, I would have to go in, and your camera and his camera had to be two different sizes. I couldn't just cut and paste the transformation on those cameras so that it lined up properly. Nothing was in line. He wouldn't wear headphones on stream because his hair.
That's true. And by the way, David McGinnis and I both got on him for that all the time. Dude, you got to have headphones.
We all got on.
And he wouldn't do it because of vanity. Just straight up vanity.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So,
and before we move on real quick, I would like to apologize. I could not find a goblin onesie on Amazon. If you guys find one, send it to me. I was unable to find one. However, I added a bunch of the ones that were suggested in the chat, and there's the wish list.
All right, continue.
All right, so he goes on to say the defendant accrued the cost of performing the service as a shareholder loan to the show and is creator of the channel partnership and granted a license to use the partnership. Where is that in the document? Where is that in the contract? Excuse me, that's not in the contract. You cannot, after the fact, tell us. I mean, what? Does he really think that makes even sense? That's for shareholders. We don't have an LLC. We don't have a business where the shareholders that need to be to have a loan against that. I mean, what does that even mean? We have a regular business, right? So the shareholder loan is an equity given to shareholders when you have shares put out. So we had no shares.
Yeah, this was not an incorporation.
Yeah, I don't understand where he's talking about shareholder loans.
Steve.
Yeah.
I need you to go to a mirror, pull down your pants, bend over, and then I need you to spread your cheeks wide open Now just imagine that's Kyle's. That's where he's getting this from.
Yeah, I mean, this would be for like an income when you have. Okay, I don't remember this specifically from accounting, so if you guys know this better than I do, but when you have your owner's equity form, you have your liabilities, you have your owner's equity, and you have your debt, and your debt considered to be accounts payables and things of that nature. So on the books, if you wanted to balance them properly, you have a income of cash, and then you have a debt that you can have against that cash for tax purposes for shareholders. And that's called a shareholder loan. I don't know the specifics of it, but if that doesn't understand it better than I do, maybe they can explain it in the video description. But our company had nothing to do with that. We don't have shareholders. It's just bizarre.
Did Kyle's hair charge an appearance fee, Steve, for $199?
Well, it's funny that he was actually going to put I never knew how he did the books, right? So we were going to do $1,000. Remember I said he was going to do $1,000 a month as a draw, and he was going to put it under appearance fees. And I was like, okay, whatever you need to do. I don't know what that, I know how he was doing the books. Because when you do the books, you usually have accounts, right? So you have accounts payable, accounts receivable, and then you have other accounts, and then you have some other things under that for depreciation accounts, right? So like, let's say you have a car. As soon as you buy a car, it starts to depreciate. So you have a separate account in your accounts ledgers, in your general ledger, that has for accounting for depreciations. And so if he had like appearance fees, it would be a draw against that account, but it still has to balance on your final balance sheet, right? Which, by the way, he didn't provide a balance sheet. He only provided the P&L. The P&L is your income statement, right? Your income report. So I don't know what that draw never happened, by the way. I was like, where the hell is $1,000 a month? This is what I was saying when I said, give me a draw. That's how you run a business. You say, okay, we're going to leave the money into the account, right? In other words, don't pay me. When people are like, oh, Steve didn't want to get paid. Bullshit. What I said was leave the money there until we figure out how to do the taxes. And if we take a draw out of it, that's how you pay yourself as a partner in a general partnership. It's called a draw. These people that are making stinks about this, they were like, oh, Steve committed fraud. Not one of them probably took accounting ever, because this is fundamental accounting. That this is how you run a business. This is what I try to explain to people, and yet people going out there, oh, look, Steve did this or this. Nope, that's not how it works. Yeah, owner's equity is assets equals debits plus owner's equity. Think of negative exponents. That's the owner's equity formula. So I did take accounting. And by the way, what confuses people is that debits is actually money that you put into something, and credit is what you take out. So if you have a cash account, right? If I debit the account, I'm putting money in. If I credit the account, I'm taking money out. That a lot of people have a hard time understanding that, because they think it's opposite, right? Because you use a debit card, what happens? You take money out. But no, in accounting, when you debit an account, you're putting money in, right? So, like I said, I have a little bit of financial background on that. So I don't know what he meant by shareholders, right? But this is what I was saying. You're supposed to have these accounts, so when you paid me $1,000 a month, then we know what it was coming out of. But I'm like, don't give me anything until you know what the hell you're doing. So anybody who says Steve withholding money, you all are idiots, and you're all wrong, and you've been demonstrated to be wrong. So I don't know what else to say about that. I don't know why anybody would buy into that narrative when I've been the most transparent person.
Quite frankly, I don't know what else we need to say about this, the rest of this document, because the fact remains is that this document is worthless.
Oh yeah, it's worthless.
It's not even worth the paper that it's digitally printed on. It's not worth the space on G Drive or wherever.
There's not much more to go. The last half of it is just his pictures.
Can we get to the?
Let's get to this.
The rest.
We can get to it. I'm just saying right here, right now, that all of this shit is pointless.
Yes,
because Kyle literally has nothing with this document.
Yeah, this is non-compliance, and it also is, again, this is considered to be discovery, which would have been a signed affidavit prior to the default judgment. So it's two problems with this. One, it's not notarized, and two, it was after the default judgment. It doesn't count.
I can't believe he did fucking notarize it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why.
There's so much.
So he's just like saying, hey Jess, but it's just like saying to the court, please believe me. Please believe me. Please believe me. Who does that? Nobody. This was not notarized. Did you notice that my affidavit was notarized? Because I have an actual notary who knows me by name. Because I got his card and I actually gave him a great review.
And the difference between this and an affidavit is when Steve signed his affidavit and had it notarized, he's saying this is true, and I will have will be committing perjury if it is found to be untrue.
All right, so
that's what an affidavit is.
Well, he didn't submit this affidavit, so it doesn't matter.
No, I'm explaining what the difference between this and an affidavit is, because people are like, well, somebody's going to come back and say, well, you told the court that this was true, and they took your word for it, right? Because if he's found to be lying, he goes to jail for perjury.
All right, so he's trying to say the pricing of these services have been on significant discount on average markets from external contractors, and the defendant's normal commercial hours rates on a per show basis as services rendered. It was never stated by the plaintiff that these services would be provided free of charge by the defendant and ordered fall outside the partnership. These are commercial invoices for services rendered and now due for payment. Two factors on this.
You never said you wouldn't pay me. You never said you wouldn't pay me.
There's two major problems.
Really?
Here. One, that was not how the business was set up. So that doesn't matter. I mean, after the default judgment, you can't go back and change anything. Two, he didn't provide any of the invoices, so he's just saying, take my word for it. This is non-compliance. And by the way, you can't bill yourself for your own company without. There are some, like Nick was right. There are the ways you can actually do that, but that has to be stipulated in the contract. Where is the contract parts? Where does that say that in any of the contract? Never. He's just saying, believe me.
It said contract would have to be signed by both partners.
Yeah, he has no evidence for this, and it would have to be discovered before the default judgment. Before.
I mean, this document, as worthless as it is, did require a lot of effort. It seems. Where was this effort when he still had time to actually? Oh, I don't know, go to fucking court, talk to the judge, that kind of shit.
Well, I mean, before when he said because he admitted he lied and said he didn't have a lawyer, right? So he actually lied about that.
Of course, we knew that.
Yeah, we knew that from a long time ago.
But you would think if he has this much motivation now, where was his motivation when it was when we were actually saying, hey, you need to respond to this?
Yeah. To be fair, it would have been just as funny to laugh at this then as it is now.
True. I'm just saying it's a little bit weird that now he has motivation when he had that 30 days to reply bullshit and he didn't do shit then.
Well, here's a couple of the problems I've noticed. Because one, this is established fact. He lied about not having a lawyer. We know that. He lied about not having a CPA. We know that, right? Okay, so somebody answer me this question. He said, did he not, Reds, that he couldn't pay me because of that everything that I was putting out was going to his lawyers, and his lawyers were looking for things to fine for defamation, and that I was making it worse by continually streaming. Is that not what he said?
He said a lot of shit, but yeah, that was one of them.
So that was a lie, right? That was clearly a lie. There was never a lawyer to begin with. How could a lawyer be watching that stuff?
There was no lawyer to begin with, and so when he made the claim that there was fraud on your part and that his lawyer was worried, there was no lawyer to be worried in the first place, so that was a lie.
All right. And the second thing he said his CPA. Did he not say during the Death of NonSequitur Show, the money's in the account, it's ready for you to take at any time?
Yep.
Oh.
That's recorded.
That's recorded. So what happened to that money? And did he not say he did not want to get a lawyer because he didn't want to tap into that money? In case he needed it to pay me? Yes, he did. That was a lie. I mean, it's just one lie after another. And yet I've told the truth from day one. And yet you have these idiots going, oh, look, I'm going to believe Kyle, not Steve. And you can do that. By all means, you can believe anybody you want. I don't care who you believe, right? I really don't. Beliefs are beliefs. Be happy, right? What I do care about is when you're trying to run false narrative and say that I've done stuff that I haven't done with no evidence, like Kyle did.
Yep. The fact remains is that Kyle screwed the pooch every step of the way, and every step of the way lied to not only Steve, but all of you guys when he decided to go live to try and set the record straight.
Right.
He lied to you guys. He's still lying to you guys.
Lied.
And right now, and listen to me very clearly, there are people that Kyle is speaking to who are perpetuating some nonsense who are also lying to you. Be careful what you believe. There's a lot of dishonest actors out there. You have to be careful about that. Yeah. If you want to know who is telling the truth, go to the person that has demonstrated that they have been telling the truth about this, and that is Steve McRae, because everything that Steve McRae has said about this issue has been correct.
And
why?
With evidence.
Because the lawyer that Steve McRae has isn't
he's real.
Is like he's not a piece of shit. He's not free. He doesn't have a hate boner. You know, in reality, he has no skin in this game except for what's actually right at this point. So go to the lawyer that has demonstrated that they know what the fuck they're talking about, and that lawyer happens to be the lawyer of Steve McRae.
Yeah. And everything I've said has been, I could demonstrate with actual evidence. Did I not say this is going to happen? This is our complaint. This is our order. This is our motion. This is what we're waiting for. I have not misled anybody, the non-sequitur fans, on anything because I want them to know exactly what's going on. Who has misled them? Oh, that would have been Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle was the one always misleading, always lying. And I actually told people at the very beginning, you know, I will bet actual money that Kyle is not telling the truth. And to the surprise of literally nobody took me up on that bet.
Yeah, real quick before Chester, he went. Hang on, Mike. Yeah, we got a mic there. Okay. When Kyle was interviewed recently on another unscrupulous junk channel, and he first thing that he said was true, and then everything after that followed was not true. It was really weird. I was like, oh, Kyle's actually gonna start telling the truth. I was wrong.
The very moment that Kyle said
was like,
that
okay.
quote, Steve is going to get every penny he is owed, from that moment going forward, everything he said after that was a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only thing he ever got right was how the non-sequitur got started. That's the only thing that he was truthful on. Other than that, he has lied everything step of the way from everything that he said. And it's just clear as day. And it's actually been demonstrated in a court of law that he lied. He even said he didn't even have a lawyer. You know, the books are just in ruins. He was found liable for fraud. But anyways, let's move on here. Oh, Chess, you had something real quick. I'm sorry.
Somebody asked in the chat if we checked or tried the passwords to see if they would work or to try and verify anything.
Yes.
And what happened with that?
None of them work.
Cool.
And I don't
maybe because he made them public and never somebody else nabbed them and changed them.
Right.
Might have something to do with it.
Right. Yeah, which kind of screwed him because we can't validate the Patreon even at this point. So, non-compliance, that's his problem.
Big oof.
Yeah, big oof.
Kawasa said, "Whoops, the non-sec twit account is gone. Contempt."
Yeah. Yeah, my lawyer's well aware of that. And by the way, my lawyer works late. I contacted him at 6:30 my time, which is 9:30 his time the other night, and he got back to me.
Right now,
like when you get paid that much amount of money,
your lawyer, you know, if not already, is going to have a fucking field day with this.
Yeah, he's this. Okay, John probably would have been a little more static. Scott's a little bit more low key, and I kind of respect that in him. But he's just like Steve. He's like, don't worry about anything. He's like, this is nonsense. This is what we're gonna do. You know what we should do. And he's just been very mellow. You know what I'm saying? John, on the other hand, was just like, yeah, this would have been. He was a lot more. He hated Kyle. He was like, dude, this guy is just screwing you over left and right. I'm like, oh yeah, but so that was my lawyer.
I have no doubt in your lawyer's capabilities. He seems to have his head pretty thoroughly screwed on straight and knows what the fuck he's doing. And other supposed lawyers out there may want to take note.
Yep, and anybody who listens to other supposed lawyers might want to take note, and people that listen to those people might take note. Okay,
wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. Didn't Kyle complain about publicly, like that he didn't want to make his lawyer's name known publicly?
I remember that. I still have those text messages.
Yeah, so that was a lie.
So then why, if he didn't want to do that, why was he okay with just putting all the passwords out?
Yeah. Oh, my lawyer can't figure that out either. He's like, this document was not supposed to go to court. You guys saw the letter, and this is why I'm transparent. So when it comes back later, I'm like, oh, hashtag Steve was right. I made public the letter from my lawyer to Kyle, and it said, "Let us know when you plan to give this to us, so we'll make sure somebody's at the office." My lawyer doesn't understand how he filed this ECF. He doesn't get it. This was not supposed to be to the court. This was supposed to be to him, and the lawyer. The judge will probably never see this except for what we want him to see out of it, because he'll read the motion from my lawyer blowing this out of the water.
It would make no sense to file this to the court because it would make all of the passwords public anyway.
Right. And this is why my lawyer's like, okay, this is...
That's like, what? Oh, hey, I've got this building that has all of these accounts in it, and it has the security code for the building, and the building sells like the greatest chocolate ever. Let me just tell you all of the recipes.
Hang on one second, guys. July 9th, 2019, he decided to say... I will download every stream and send it right to my attorney and do the same here along with the screenshots of your threat. That was from Kyle. So my reply was, I can streamline the process for you by showing everyone exactly what I sent you. Just give me permission to play everything that you sent to me, and that should make it a lot easier for your attorney who appears to not exist. We got a deal? He replies with, he appears to not exist because I don't give over his contact information, ? I have seen what would happen in other situations. It's having trolls or whatever else that don't have anything to do with this call and harass his office. I'm not going to enable that. I know that this will be handled correctly and legally, and that's my concern. Not giving over his information because parties not involved feel they are entitled to it.
That was a lie, right? Would you all agree that's a lie? Ding, 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 ding. That's a complete lie.
But he's,
now we know why.
Totally fine. But he's totally fine to be like, hey, you know what? Let any troll get a hold of all of the passwords for all of the accounts. And actually, what that kind of does is put anody who was subscribed to the Patreon and giving money in danger.
Yes, it does.
Just to be clear, that was on 7/9/2019 at 8:13 and 8:17 p.m. were those text messages. And the actual reason why we know now that he didn't give over that contact information was because there was no contact information because the fucker didn't exist, just like I said. I fucking called it.
Oh, I knew that. I thought the same thing. And he lied to various people about that, too. He lied to his friends, saying, I do have a lawyer. They believed him on that. And he lied about it. He outright lied about it. So
I have a lawyer. Bullshit.
Yeah. So, I mean, let me just throw this out there and we'll move on real quick. But what kind of people out there would believe Kyle over me at this point? Obviously not people that are rational. I'm just sorry. I have got to say it. You are.
Well,
but you can do it. Look. You can believe anybody you want, but you have to acknowledge certain facts. He has admitted he has lied. That is a fact in evidence. I have not lied about shit. I have not admitted I've lied about shit because I have not lied about anything to admit to.
Hang on.
So who would you think is more?
Steve.
I don't get it. It's just weird.
Steve.
Yeah.
Hate will blind those who profess to be intelligent.
Amen.
Yeah, can we also keep in mind that anybody like supporting Kyle still staunchly at this time is like in the same boat? This isn't a matter of if you just decide to believe Kyle, fine, whatever. But if you go around like trying to convince other people, like right. You
Steve committed fraud.
Like, we're done here, right?
Kyle didn't lie. Yeah, you can believe Kyle. I don't care. Knock yourself out. That's a belief. I really don't care what you think. But when you say, well, Kyle didn't lie, Steve lied, and Steve had a fraud. Okay, where's the evidence for that? Where's the evidence for fraud? Where's the evidence that I lied? Oh, wait, there is none? Shocking.
All right, let's keep going.
All right.
I want to see what else is in here.
So common business practices.
Yeah. So, and I've been up since I'm going to bring this up. I've been up since like 9 o'clock this morning. Yeah. On streams all day, so
yay!
I'm probably not going to stick around very much longer. Let's but I will stick around as long as I. But if I drop out, it's because I'm tired. I've had it,
We get it. All right, so he's talking about common business practices, right, for YouTube. The defendant has provided detailed calculations, hard copies of external sources, quotes. I don't know what this has to do with anything. It falls within the terms of partnership as ordered to host. No, we were co-host on a YouTube channel. Anybody who owns a YouTube channel would know this is complete bullshit, right? The best practices based on YouTube Academy creators. This has nothing to do with our partnership.
No.
Absolutely nothing to do with our partnership. And again, not admissible. And he said, by increased equity provided by a shareholder or partner, sweat equity. What about my sweat equity? Right? What about trying to get all the guest in that, and then towards the end that he didn't even respond to? What about the stuff that I have to read and learn about and talk about with the guest? I read the entire book, Universe from Nothing over again, just so I can have a decent conversation with Lawrence Krauss. Right. So, I mean, he just thinks that making graphics is the only thing that goes into a show. I mean, that's ridiculous. So he's just trying to run this, he hosted it, therefore his time's valuable. Well, that's what you put into the partnership. The court doesn't give a shit about all this. I mean, this is all just completely irrelevant. Thumbnails are usually the very first things people see when you're in your videos, and 90% of your best performing videos and YouTubes have custom thumbnails. So what? What is that? So what?
Wait, is that a percentage? It says 90%. Where's the other 5% come from? Let's go.
Me. Yeah.
No. He said it's
no. The other
95%.
the other 5% of the 95% Kyle was talking about. Wonder where that number comes from. Let's go.
I don't know.
Well, there's 90 right there because he made the thumbnails and it's 90% of the best performing videos.
On the other 5. But all non-sequitur shows have custom unique thumbnails and associated artwork and logos design owned by the defendant. No, they're not owned by the defendant. They're owned by non-sequitur. They were assets to the show. All the show's music owned by the defendant for the show. If he wants to claim copyright, that's a separate lawsuit. You cannot include this in my lawsuit. You have to do a separate lawsuit and say he is impinging upon my copyright, which he can try. But then what happens is I show him a default judgment, and this gets dismissed prima facie, right? Because he has no case to be had on that. I've already had a court order. Once you have a court order saying that all is yours, you can't go back and sue somebody from it. You just say, look, the court's already ruled on this.
Hang on, I gotta derail for a second. I'm just rereading some of this, and my fucking god, it's hilarious. So 7/9/2019 at 8:32 p.m. he says, again, I have no control over what you guys do as far as streams and things like that. What I do have control over is making sure that neither of us are going to get caught up in any sort of legal issue, and that is my focus. Oh, the fucking lulz. How's that not getting caught up in any legal issue working out for you, Kyle?
Well, you guys, do you guys still want me to screen share?
Nah, not needed.
Okay, because you can see it on the outside, but it's just that they can see who's talking. It just looks better when it's.
Yeah, I'm done reading these text messages. I'm just fucking no. No.
All right, so I think we're buffering a little bit. Hopefully, we'll fix that in a second. All right, so none of this has to do with anything. There's no copyright to be had because it's it was part of actually non sequitur. And if he wants to sue for copyright, that's a separate litigation altogether. You cannot attach a copyright claim to a already pending litigation like this. It just none of it works this way. Pre-show cost all shows operating expenses. Okay, so he's trying to bill for all these operating expenses by saying, oh, this is what I'm charging for all these things. Well, okay, first of all, again, where's the invoice for all these things? Second of all, this would have to sign off by me as a partner. Second of all, you cannot claim a general partnership, which has been established as a 50-50 general partnership, and then claim a subcontractor that you've hired yourself and paid yourself. You can have one or the other, but you can't have both when you've already established it was a 50-50 partnership. And my lawyer's like, yeah, it was a 50-50. This is bullshit. This is just
but facts wrong. Don't apply to him.
Clearly not. And here's a guy Nick was right, and so was my lawyer. They're like, he's already been found liable for fraud. That's a given, right? And now he's trying to pull this with the court. Well, how do you think the court's going to look at it? And if the court even looks at this, by the way, because the judge, this isn't for the judge. It doesn't give a shit about this. This is irrelevant to the judge. The books are supposed to be sent to us. We have to look at the books. We then tell the judge he either complied or he did not comply. The judge does not rule on any of this. The judge has nothing to do with any of this. This is where whoever gave Kyle very bad advice. Why would the judge even look at this? The judge doesn't have time for this. My lawyer looks at this and says, okay, does this meet the criteria to be complied to the court order? It has. This is what we're asking for. That's the 30 days that we had after you're supposedly to show the books. If he doesn't meet that criteria, we say, hey, look, judge, he did not meet the criteria. This is why he didn't meet the criteria. Then the judge goes back and says, oh, you're right. He didn't meet their criteria because my lawyer said this is bullshit. This is not the books. So that's how it works. The judge's probably not going to see this at all. If he does, he's just going to be like, oh my God, this is like ridiculous. But this was supposed to be for my lawyer, not for the judge. And I don't know why people think it was any way for the judge. I mean, the judge wasn't asking for this.
Did we miss the part where Kyle charged the business so much that it went like double into the negative of what it made? What business partner charges their own business that they're trying to grow into the negative?
That's called fiscal malfeasance. Now he was already found for deceptive and unfair trade practices, right? Well, there you go.
Again, there you go. Here's some more.
Yeah, if you guys could not see that we were right all along, that he was deceptive in his trade practices, then he committed fraud and conversion, I don't know what else to tell you. Again, believe what you want. As long as you're not going around lying to people saying that I did anything wrong, because I sure the hell didn't. That point, you're lying. You could say anything you want about Kyle. Say, yeah, I believe Kyle, blah, blah. Sure, go ahead. But the facts remain. He was found liable. And now he's right in front of you trying to commit perpetrating fraud in the court. Right in front of you. You can see it. He's padding the accounts payable. Now, that's up to the court to decide. Right now, all we're going to do is try to go for order motion to show cause and get him to come in front of the judge to explain his actions and why he hasn't turned over the channel yet. That still has not happened yet.
Yeah.
That was already supposed to happen. He didn't have 14 days for that. So he's in contempt.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to know, like, what... When I saw these numbers, I'm like, where is he getting this shit from? Because, so what you're telling me that under your leadership, you basically put NonSec in the hole for the same amount it costs to buy a brand new Chevy Cruze.
Yeah, and let me ask any YouTuber out there, if you had a business part like this that ran a profitable YouTube channel into the ground, $20,000, would you think that was not fiscal malfeasance? Of course you would, because it never happened. You can't say, hey, look, the company owes me this amount of money, therefore I don't owe him, he owes me.
At this point, if you believe Kyle, I have a pyramid scheme you will be interested in.
Well, I mean, I don't see any difference between Kyle and one of those preachers any longer. You know, like one of those
he would
Joel Osteen.
He would be great for like, hey, listen, to spread the love of the Lord Jesus Christ, I just need you to know I need a private jet. Now I already have those guys, but I can't spread the word of God without layovers.
Prosperity gospel.
That's where the private jet comes in.
Yeah, I need a private jet. Yeah, I needed the software to run the company in the ground. By the way, again, the software was bought for him, not just the vMix, but other software was. And I also have things from the wish list I know was bought from him. I know lighting was bought from him. I know a tablet was bought for him. He did not include the wish list on here. That was a contempt charge because that was specifically to be ordered. So yeah, he's quoting people here, which is completely irrelevant. Nick did a good job on this. You want to go check it out. But one of these, do you guys remember? Do you guys watch Nick's thing?
Yeah,
I did not.
One of these people had account. It was something rail and stairs and rail, which was a shell account. Basically, a key turn is called. And when you go to that account, it's just this weird thing. Did everybody see that?
Yeah, I saw that.
What was that account called? Do you guys remember? Because
I don't remember what the account was called.
Stairs and rail, wasn't it? I'll show you when I find it. Randolph Stairs and Rail. Okay, so I think I found it. Yeah, this is it. So one of the accounts had this, and I will screen share in the internal here. Do you want me to do that? Might be easier. So one sec. Let me screen share. Okay, so one of the accounts that he mentioned was this Randolph Stair and Rail Company. When you go to the page here for their page, now this is a trigger warning. If you have epilepsy, please do not look at this. Once again,
oh fuck.
If you have, and I'm not kidding. This is not a joke. If you have epilepsy, please look away for the next 2 minutes or minute. I'm not even kidding here. Okay, ready? So you have to see this. Ready? Okay, here we go. This is the design for this particular only account this one person has that he claims.
This is hilarious, actually.
What the hell?
We showed the stark contrast between this. The stark contrast between this and the in time graphics was quite.
For one of the people that he
emphasized it.
For one of them that it was that turnkey business, which was a business anyone could go buy for whatever. But this is the account that he says is worth $120, $140, or $150, what it was, to design this. I'm not even exaggerating.
This looks like a pop-up I get when I'm on midgetdonkeyporn.com. I mean, doing research, doing research.
Say that
on,
like I didn't. You're saying that like I didn't put an Eeyore donkey onesie on my onesie list.
Now, I don't know which one. I don't know which one of these ones listed.
They're one size fits all.
But oh my God, right? I mean, if this isn't BS, I don't know what is, right?
I'm gonna mail it to Reds.
Yeah.
So
Steve 1758 $5. Kyle is creating a greater tax liability no matter how the judge rules. We don't know. I can't say one way or another. Until we actually get everything resolved, we don't even know what the tax liabilities are. Once I get what's probably going to happen is that we're going to do a proper full thing. We're going to settle everything, right? And at the very end, the income from the company, we're going to put as, to me, deferred to Kyle's payments to me when I get money out of him. So when I get money out of him, that now becomes my tax liability, right? That's probably how it's going to work, because I have no tax liability because I wasn't paid anything, obviously.
Well, right. You can't pay taxes on money you didn't receive.
Right.
Or you don't even know what the amount is.
Yeah, I don't even know what he paid because he hid the books. I'm not liable for any of that. That's all in him.
By hid the books, you mean didn't make any.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, that's his fiscal malfeasance, which I have record of from, the fact that it was unfair, it's up to trade practices. So I'm in the clear, but he might have some tax issues. Because he's going to have to pay me out of it. And there's, by the way, there are ways to get money out of North Carolina. Even though you cannot garnish, there are other ways.
One way to skin a cat.
So this gets weirder here. He starts putting in Twitter screenshots. What the hell does this have to do with the books? No, the NonSequitur is not incorporated. What the hell does this have to do with the books?
I don't know. You're fucking asking me.
Now, remember I said about taking draws? I said, take a draw if you need funds. This was a $1,000 draw that we were talking about before when I said, okay, you want to pay me as a business structure, not structuring, right? But people are like, oh, look, Steve's doing structuring. No, structuring is when you take multiple payments out of the bank under $10,000 to pay your employees.
Actually, what Kyle's doing in this document is a hell of a lot closer to structuring than what Steve has ever done.
Yeah.
No, I disagree. It's not, because again, structuring is a very specific term.
It's closer to structuring than anything you've done. It's fraud.
What's fraud? Yeah, that's true. But when I talk about a draw, I was very serious about this is legal. This is how you leave the money in the account and you take a draw out of the account to pay yourself.
Legal.
So from day one, I never committed a single thing that was unethical, illegal from day one, and yet Kai was trying to run this narrative and idiots believed him, which is fine. You're allowed to, right? But this is clear evidence that I was saying, well, you could take a draw too to pay yourself.
Oh no, chat fooled me. I put all these onesies in a thing and I just realized that chat was just trying to turn me into a furry. Oh no.
Yeah, and by the way, I would getting with Dave tomorrow as we are setting up a merchant storefront. By the way, did we not go over that, Dave? You and I, like we did in this video, we told people that we were going to set up the Teespring. Everything I've said has evidence for. I back up everything because I've been telling the truth from day one. So he's just helping me on this. And so he's trying to say, like, I said, take $100 and $200 to reimburse you. Honestly, I don't remember what exactly this was before. I don't recall. But first of all, reimbursement is not the same as being paid. He's trying to say wait 1 second. He's trying to say that this would be paid per episode. If this was to be paid per episode...
I think this is about the time he changed internet providers and had to get it installed because his internet was sucking. That might be what we're talking about.
I honestly don't remember.
It's a little fuzzy. It's a little fuzzy, but...
Yeah, I don't remember, to be honest with you, so I can't say. Right? I'm not gonna be like other YouTubers out there that just pull shit out their ass with no evidence and just throw it out for the people to latch onto because they have no ability to think critically about anything. So I have no idea what this was about. If I remember, I'll tell you guys later. But I can tell you this: if you're trying to claim that this was to pay yourself, if that was the bullshit you want to go with, that's not reimbursement. Reimbursement is you pay something and then somebody gives you money to reimburse you for that, right? That's not the same as saying you're being paid for a
$200
job.
per show.
Yeah,
it's not $200 per show.
And if he would, by the way, I kind of wish he would have put this before the default judgment. This would have been like epic if he would have tried to pull that BS with the court, because the court would have looked at probably then go, wait, what the hell is this? We would have just annihilated him. But he decided to do it after the fact, which is not admissible. So it sucks. But it doesn't make any sense. Hey, by the way, Reds, have you seen this before? Have you seen these?
I have seen them before. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just didn't pay much attention to him because it's literally worth nothing.
He's like, I'm like, that's a good thumb for the trailer coin store. Yeah. Okay. So the fuck what?
So you're congratulating your business partner on his work.
Why does the judge care about this? Good thumb. This is like second.
What is this? Hilarious.
What is this, 5th grade? I'm like, are you kidding me?
It would be really funny if you were actually talking about, if you were to expand that and see what was actually being talked about above, and it's actually just a picture of like Danny from Game Grumps' weird thumbs.
I will see if I can find this in my emails. The problem, I
know that's not what you're talking about, but it would be funny if it was.
I swear to God, Gmail is the shittiest thing to try to find anything in.
It is.
It really is bad, and so I will try to look some of this stuff up. But I'm not making any promises because my God, I have like 68,000 freaking emails, right, or whatever the hell it is.
But why even put that there? I mean, is he trying to become a meme at this point? It's like, good thumb, much art. Wow.
I delete spam, right? I delete, a lot of emails. How many emails do you think are in my Gmail right now? Do you want to guess?
No.
All right, let's live chat guess. How many emails do you think I have?
It's got to be in the hundreds of thousands. It's got to be in the hundreds.
It's 100,000. It's 100,000.
Yeah.
And I delete a lot of messages, but nothing hopefully relevant. Although it
very
can happen.
Good, really good.
Yeah, it's a lot of emails.
Really good. Love it in all caps.
Yeah, I would show it, but I got personal stuff there, obviously. So, well, I could probably
keep going.
This. Hang on one sec.
Yeah, Steve doesn't want to show you all the dick pics that he sends me.
Yeah. No, those are open. All right, so
talk about
many dick pics.
Keep going.
Yeah, okay.
Seriously.
Yeah. So, did you see the thumb for tomorrow? I did. Yes, very good. I will contact whatever his name is. Gem Panda. I thought it was G-Man. I couldn't read it. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was G-Man. Gem Panda.
That's the debate with Reds, Dell, Gavin, Gem Panda.
Yeah,
that's when that.
Very
happened.
good. I'm complimenting his. I'm giving him. I'm very good. It's like really good. He's so proud of himself. Like, I've done good. And I'm like, okay, what does this have to do with the books? I'm just
A+++.
Yeah.
We already said that. Yeah,
he makes good graphics.
You made the non-sequitur look pretty. Congratulations. Yeah. What the fuck does this have to do with anything?
I don't know. I don't know, but anyways, okay. So moving on past that,
look, the fact is that I made the non sequitur look good. Steve was a meanie poopy head, and give me money.
Yeah, they're dated. Yeah, somebody points out they're dated. Believe it or not, it still sucks. But yeah, they're dated. So I'll try to find out those from the date. So Planet requires access to the financial documents for the channel, including all documentation of accounts collected, in order to determine the account is owed, which includes AdSense, which was not included, right? And he didn't over the channel, so I can't even get an estimate, right? So if we can't validate any of these numbers, which means they're not audited, which he admits in this thing. These are not audited numbers. Therefore, they're not the books. Do right. People not understand? This is a word sheet that he just said, here's some numbers, judge. Or it should have gone to my lawyer, but it's like, hey, lawyer, here's some numbers. Believe me, take my word for it. No, that's not how it works. And by the way, it wasn't notarized. No, that's not how any of that works. Full disclosure, the management accounts also include a period from June 11th to end of January, the period after the end of the partnership, which is true. There is money to be had after June 11th, right? Which, by the way, is not included on this, right? So he's
right. And wait. He seems to think that that's anything he did after June 11th goes to him.
Yeah, and that's wrong.
It doesn't. It goes to you because you got the judgment.
Right. Here's the way it's supposed to work. We asked for monies up to June 11th, and then we were going to get the books, and go further, and then ask for the monies between June 11th and present. Okay. He didn't. That's what I'm saying. There's probably $10,000 missing from here. Because the money from June to present, I'm going to estimate around 10 grand.
Steve's channel, Kyle. You can't claim your work for work that you did independently, illegally on his channel.
So
that's not how that works.
You also can't claim money to spend more than what your channel makes without the other partner's knowledge. Also, this beer mug is hilarious.
No, in fact, no, I'm not looking.
I made the show look pretty while I was driving it into the hole by 20 fucking grand.
Look at how nicely I polished this car and made it look incredibly unique. Now,
Yeah, in fact, I didn't even. When did he cut off the Patreon and when did he cut off the financials?
Look at this amazing car I polished and looked up. It only put me 20 grand in the fucking hole.
He said June 11th. Right. So
well, it's just it's.
Oh,
it's
coming up
cooking
here.
The books.
It's coming up here.
Yeah.
All right. So
keep going.
So this is actually what P&L looks like, right? Remember I told you guys that you need a P&L? This is actually a P&L. Now, is it legit? No, but it is a P&L report. It includes all your revenue, right? And then so your total revenue. Then it has your expenditures, your operating cost, right? So it's basically this would be in line with the balance sheet, and you basically have each one of these accounts, right, for expenditures, and each one of these things for revenue income. Now he stops it, if I'm not mistaken, at June. Does he stop it at June? What is he here? Right here. June 11th, partnership ended. No, it didn't.
Nope.
No, it didn't.
Nope, it did not end at the 11th.
You cannot end it unilaterally, Kyle.
Right.
That's not how that works. That's why you're being sued.
Right.
That's why you're being sued
God.
because you tried to end it.
We were asked.
That's why I went and got beer.
This is why we did it this way, because my lawyer is smart. We were asking for monies up to June 11th because those are non-contestable, right? And then we were going to ask for the money after June 11th, after they figured out what happens to the partnership after, from that date. It's already been decided.
Yeah,
I get that money too.
Charge.
So when I was estimating $60,000, was I not right on the fucking money? $50,000 up to June 11th and $49,000, and then probably another $10,000 off afterwards. So
it's almost like he thinks that things being separate means he doesn't have to do the other one.
Yeah.
So like because you were going to separate them, or because you did separate them into two different things, he only has to comply with one of them.
Yeah,
and
now he does include the numbers here, but
complying properly.
What was that?
I said he's not even complying properly with the first one anyway.
Yeah. So total revenue, he actually includes this total revenue $2,300 afterwards. Total expenditure. So there's another. It's not. He claims it's not 10,000. We'll go with this. There's like 2,300 or something like that. Not including other types of revenue streams, which we don't know because he's not including those. But let's just say it is, for the sake of argument, $3,000. There's still $3,000 that he didn't put in the initial thing there. He's going by I think these numbers here. He's not including this in the actual revenue, total revenue, if I'm not mistaken. If that's how he did it, I don't know. Because he says
it's actually very confusing the way he did it too.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, so I don't want to comment. This is really bizarre how he did this. I don't know.
Anyway, this is profit and loss with nothing to back it up.
Absolutely
literally.
nothing. He didn't
so
give
it's
anything
just
to
somebody
back this up.
saying, "Hey,
take my
him
word for it."
Saying he's committing fraud in a different way, as well as committing fraud in the initial way, because this doesn't actually undo whatever fraud he was trying to commit towards Steve. This is like, hey, I've taken this fraud and I want to distract you with this other fraud, when all it actually does is add more fraud to the fraud that already exists.
Yeah, he breaks down the manager accounts above from 2019 to 2020, but I don't know if he includes June further or not. I really don't know. It's hard to.
You see that $40?
Oh, I guess he
to
does.
The producer
Okay.
on October of 19.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
You see that $41 to the producer?
Yeah,
it's right there in the middle of the screen, Steve.
It's right there. So move left.
Move up, left. Nope, you
Right.
just went right past it. Right down.
Under April 19th.
Oh, I thought it said
Yeah,
October.
there you
That's
go.
my fault.
Right there.
Do you see that?
Yeah.
You know what that's for?
You?
That's for when I said, "Hey, Kyle, it'd be nice to have some energy drinks after the show, so that I can do the next show." He gives me $40. That's called a gift, you idiot.
Yeah,
You're not paying
that's
me
not an operating
$40.
expense.
That's not an operating expense.
Yeah, that's not an operating expense. That's wow. I mean, if you want to take it off for tax purposes, okay, I'm not gonna sweat it. But by the way, I think you did include it on the 49,000. But I still think there's some funds missing there.
There is, I'm sure.
Yeah. And so, but I was still pretty close. I mean, Still, $50,000 is a lot of
This is
freaking
more
money.
about what he's trying to claim, though. This is more about what he's trying to claim he's owed.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit because
you owe him and need to buy him a couple more monsters.
He's also in contempt because I have it written that he does have he said he had an MS Excel spreadsheet during all this. Where's that? He was supposed to include all documentation, but anyways. So fixed assets, vMix software license. First of all, that was $1,200. I don't know why it's inflated. The software costs $1,200, is it not?
And it was actually donated to the NSS because not only was I in that conversation, but Steve was in that conversation.
It was by Jimmy Sislo. Jimmy Sislo. Yep.
Jamie Sislo was there too. So that's 4 people that were in that conversation. And Jamie asked me, he said, should I put it in your name or should I put it in live@nonsexshow.com? I said, put it in live.nonsexshow or live@nonsexshow.com because it belongs to the channel and should go with the channel.
And that's the
okay. That says Jamie Sislo.
That account is mine, live at NonSequtiur. It should be mine. That's part of the business stuff. This is why you know if you're going to have a business name like that, you don't put personal information on it. You don't use it for your personal information.
Let's clarify real quick. It's not. It should be yours. It is yours. Well, you should have control over it.
Well, it's legally mine, but he hasn't given it to me. Yeah. So there's a contempt charge on that too.
Give it to me now.
Yeah. So this is all adding up. So cash at the bank, $0. Okay, this is a big one right here.
That makes no sense.
If he was paid, he
lied.
Well,
he lied. He said he had money for you. He doesn't. Go figure.
Okay, so one, he didn't include any bank receipts. He didn't include any the balance statements from. He should have included his bank receipts. He should have actually showed that. He didn't. So that's a mistake on his part. But if there's zero amount in the bank, where did the money go? Because if he was billing himself these operating costs, right? Those are unpaid invoices. But that doesn't mean they're paid somewhere, right? Where do they go? There's still $50,000 worth of revenue that even he says in this, and I think it's a lot more than that. I think it's around 60,000, but let's not quibble, right? Let's say it is 50,000, right? Where did that money go?
Yeah, because there's the thing, right? If all of this money was charged to him, then he should have that money. So if he moved all of this money because he thought he deserved it for whatever work he did, that money should be in the bank.
That's called conversion.
And if it's not in the account, that still doesn't say where it went.
My lawyer is very specific on that. That is conversion. He's using assets, and he's using the personal assets and monies of the company.
Money laundering, yeah.
Well, not money laundering. It's what conversion is when you take assets and monies from business and you convert it to personal use.
Oh, okay.
Which he did by using the Patreon for his rent, by buying
and by attempting retroactively to make the shell company call Designs, which is the next line item.
Yes, this has only been around for a month. He's trying to go back and try to say these are invoices, commercial invoices for operating expenses that were never issued. By the way, they were never issued.
Yeah.
So they're not on the accounts payable. That's cooking the books. I hate to tell you.
Cooking the books he doesn't have.
Yeah. So you can't pad the accounts payable like that.
It's imaginary cooking. Should that be the next cheshcraft? I cook imaginary food.
Normally what happens...
It'll look like the scene from Hook when they're all eating the food and there's nothing on it.
Hopefully there's an accountant out there, because again, I'm going back a long time for accounting, but normally when you quote cooking the books, what you're trying to do is you're trying to inflate your numbers for people to think that the company is in better fiscal shape than it actually is, right? So you want to have low debt and you want to have high revenue, right? You want to make...
He literally did the opposite.
He really did the
opposite.
Instead
of cooking them, he's burning them.
Yeah, exactly.
He's freezing them. He's freezing them.
You exactly got it right, Bullinator. He's doing the opposite, right? And the reason why he's doing an opposite is to lower his fiscal responsibility and liabilities to me by having more of a accounts payable. So normally cooking the books is when, like I said, you try to say that you have less debt than you actually have. He's doing the opposite, but it's just ridiculous. All right. So this goes more about the copyright. We won't get into that.
It's a piece of cake to break a pretty cake.
Yeah. So this is all nonsense.
You can't copyright. Look at that. Just let me roll back up to the top of the copyright right there.
Sure.
The important thing here is 2017, 2018, 2019. Copyright Kyle Curtis Designs. Kyle Curtis Designs didn't exist in those 3 years.
Yes.
It was the Non-Sequitur Show.
Yeah, Kyle Curtis Designs didn't
Point
exist
blank.
to last
That's a bullshit.
Month.
That whole section is bullshit. End of story.
Yeah, and then he says the defendant has fully complied with this order. He has not. My lawyer said absolutely not. He said this is not compliance.
In what way?
Yeah.
In what?
You didn't even send it to the right people. That's
Yeah, you're right. He didn't send it to the right people. He
That
didn't
is
send it to
compliant.
He did it. The lawyer's name was wrong. He didn't get to my lawyer.
right.
Yeah.
You said give it to the lawyer. You gave it to the court and put the wrong lawyer's name on it, and you didn't CC anybody.
I want a quick game, real quick.
And didn't it go public on YouTube through somebody else entirely before it even went to the court?
Quick game, real quick.
Yep.
I like game playing. So one of the fake the accounts with no avatar. I don't want to say it's fake because I'm not going to check it. But say, oh my God, this is entertaining. You have no idea what you're talking about, Steve. Oh, please correct us. You have one chance to please correct us. What do we not know what I'm talking about when I'm telling you what the lawyer has told me? And basically common sense. But I've had accounting. But if you think I'm wrong, knock yourself out. What am I incorrect on? Because I'm happy if I'm incorrect on something. Yeah. So he's just trying to claim copyright. He would have to sue for that. That's a whole different lawsuit, which would be dismissed.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you were incorrect when you trusted Kyle in the first place, but
I don't.
To be fair.
No, to be fair, bullshit.
Reds,
you fucked up, dude.
I fucked up when I looked at you without a sun filter, okay?
I mean, that's a separate issue.
If we're gonna go with that, all three of you are guilty of that.
Yeah, there you go. Share the blame, bitch. Exactly.
Listen, just because there's a little bit of hypocrisy there does not mean you need to point it out, okay?
Okay, management accounts.
You know who's the one person in this call who didn't trust Kyle ever?
What is this stuff?
I'm gonna blow this up a little bit. All right, so this is 108. This is the estimated revenue from YouTube. Okay, this is, I think, incorrect because the last number I saw on the YouTube analytics, if I'm not mistaken, was either $46,000 or $49,000. I cannot say which
49.
Was it 49?
Yep.
Okay, you and Reds actually saw it, so okay, we're gonna go with that. So Reds, does that sound about right? Last time you saw the estimated was $49,000.
The last time I saw it, yeah.
Okay, so where's this number from?
It may have dropped because he fucked the channel up, but yeah.
No.
This is really
no. The estimate stays the same. The estimate doesn't drop. Right? The estimate.
It's an estimate. Of course it does.
No. It doesn't. What the estimate does is, correct me if I'm wrong, but the estimate is just say this is how much you should be paid, and then AdSense will pay you something. But the estimate doesn't change after the AdSense come out. So the estimate that we saw should have been $49,000.
Oh, estimates before payment, right? But
yes.
That's 2020-01. So it's estimate of 2020-01.
Oh, it's just 20. It's just wait. It's just not total.
It includes the last two quarters.
Yeah, so it includes the last two quarters. So if you go to the YouTube channel, which I don't have yet, if I go to the analytics and it says, okay,
the last time I saw that number, it was June.
Okay, and that was $49,000 in June, right?
Right. So he killed the channel right here. This is proof.
Well, I don't think this is right though. I don't know how the estimate.
Oh, weird. What could have happened in July? Bizarre.
Yeah, and keep in mind, I want people to understand. Do not trust these numbers.
Yeah.
No,
we can't validate it because you have to give me
the
channel. Yeah.
It's kind of pointless anyway because this is not the books. This is not what you actually received. You can't send.
I'm not going to
somebody an estimate and say this is what I.
We can't work with this information because the information is unverifiable at this point.
Right.
The only way to move forward is to actually get what we fucking asked for, which was the books.
And by the way, I know what that entails. I've talked to the lawyer. I'm not going to tell what Kyle that entails. He has to figure that out. That's not my business to tell him what
I know the first step. Actually contact your fucking lawyer.
Oh, that would be probably good, right? Yeah.
All right. So then he goes on with Patreon.
Be like, okay, Steve's lawyer. I'm just gonna be real with you. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. That's step one. And then help me out here. How do I make this so that I'm not totally fucked on this?
Are you saying the first step is admitting you have a problem?
All right. So this person, This person claims to be a CPA, and they say the money's gone. Okay. What does that have to do with anything?
Vibrantly for 5 says, does he still have time to escape to Indonesia with all the mattress money and get a cozy little beach hut?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Sorry, I'm not going to be dealing with that kind of nonsense. Somebody's BSing in the chat.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, if the money's gone, that's considered to be conversion. But
Yeah, see,
And by the way,
I agree with Joey
if
here.
you-
At
if somebody-
Red, this is just a dog and pony show to attempt to avoid paying Steve. Exactly.
If
What he's trying to do is he's trying to gaslight the court.
Yeah, if somebody has a legit account
and whitewash what happened.
If you show me
30
hang on.
day ago website or whatever.
If you show me your actual real information and you are a legitimate CPA and you email it to me at steveaskanything@gmail.com, I'll unhide you. Okay? Because I don't trust accounts that have nothing to them. Because that's just anybody trolling, and I don't believe people without evidence like that. So, by the way, let me go to their channel real quick. Oh, look at that! This channel does not have any content. Shocker. Okay.
The fuck?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, that doesn't count.
Patreon, same deal.
Patreon, same deal. Is it?
What could have happened in July to affect the numbers in
Teespring? Teespring was. I know you can't read this, guys, but it says $1,645. So $1,645 for Teespring. Which, by the way, did he? Excuse me, $17,000 up here. So I don't know. Oh, there's $72 down here. So the total was $1,700 in Teespring. That's a lot for Teespring, considering that it was my idea to have Teespring, and I have the evidence for that. And two, did he not say that he was going to take 100% of that? Yep.
Somebody in the chat is asking, it's Jenny, who paid for the Adobe software that Kyle used?
That was
Fans.
That was Fans. Yeah, that was done through a crowdsourcing of some kind.
Mm. Yeah. So
yeah, he did
like none of it he paid for himself, so there would be no reimbursement for it.
And he also got a tablet and some lighting equipment through Amazon from him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
I just went shopping while we were doing this because people were like Amazon wish list. I'm like, okay.
Someone asked a question.
See,
someone asked a question.
Hey, right here. You guys can see this. This is a tablet that was purchased. I already blacked this out. So this was actually from this is Kyle Curtis's name. This was one of the items that I've already turned into my lawyer. There's a couple of them. He did not include this in this document.
Oh, right.
Go figure.
Yep.
Right. So those are assets.
Awkward.
There was money and assets that he did not account for.
Hunter D says at Red's Rhetoric. So Kyle has tomorrow, Thursday, produce the real books. I put the link to the countdown clock, which is currently at 23 hours, 7 minutes, and 55 seconds.
And that's to turn over everything. But the thing is that Kyle can't turn everything over now because he made the passwords public.
Right.
He's incapable now of doing so.
Before somebody says that I spelled lying wrong.
And he also decided to fuck up the NonSequitur Twitter profile. So yeah, he just fucked himself with that one too.
Before somebody says something, I type, and when I type, I don't know what it's called. It's not dyslexic. It might be, but I don't know. But what I do is I reverse two letters a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like lawyer, I'll spell it Laywer, right? Yeah. And I'll like lying, I switch the letters around. I do that frequently on Twitter as well. If people notice that, I'm not dyslexic, but I type in a way that's so quickly that I tend to transpose letters often. So if you ever see me on Twitter and you see two letters that are transposed, like instead of being ing, it's IGN. I already know I have that habit. I've had it for long
Original
time,
Nielsen, $5 Australian. I've worked in finance for 12 years. I've never seen such bullshit paperwork before. LOL.
And I trust the original Nielsen, so I know who she is, and I know she's not bullshitting.
And he goes on to Streamlabs, the same deal. This is what would have came through any PayPal that we had.
But this is about right. This I will say is probably legit. Didn't I not say there's about $800 in the Streamlabs?
I'm not going to go that far. Again, every single number here is questionable.
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
Well, of course,
but I'm just saying that my estimates.
It'll all be fudged.
People were like saying, "Where's Steve getting his
estimates?"
Right, but people are saying, "Where does Steve get his numbers from?" Well, this is no. I got the numbers by the things that I remember seeing, and I was dead on that. The fact that we did see these numbers. This is the numbers I remember seeing from the Streamlabs, and I remember saying Streamlabs has about $800+ in it. So I wasn't too far off the mark. Right?
No,
I bet if you added this up, it's between $800 and $900, give or take. So when people say, "Well, Steve's pulling numbers out of his ass,"
the reason it
wrong.
dropped in July. Well, Steve, let's also point out the reason it dropped in July 18 is that's when we were monetized.
Yes, and we stopped using kind of Streamlabs a bit.
We kind of gave up on Streamlabs other than to say, hey, we got a super chat.
Now, I wish he would have put this in an Excel spreadsheet. Would have been easier because he said he was doing Excel spreadsheet, but he didn't turn that over. But I'm going to add this up as I'm speaking here. But this numbers seem about all right. But let me just add these up real quick. So
there is a couple people in the chat make a really good point. Dragon said, how much do you want to bet that he changed the passwords that he made public so that would seem that someone else owned it now? Possible, but I don't think Kyle's smart enough to have done that on his own. I think he would have needed, one, either help, or two, somebody else to suggest it.
Well, he kind of screwed himself by doing either way.
David Thompson makes another point. Sorry, I'm just going to finish this one as well because they're related.
Yep.
There is also a chance that Kyle put the wrong passwords in the court document on purpose, like intentionally, to make it seem like someone stole and changed the passwords.
Possibly. Yeah, we have no idea, right? But it kind of screwed him because now we can't validate, and therefore the books are incomplete. And by the way, this totals up to $947. I said 800 plus, so I underestimated. So when people say, where's Steve getting these numbers from? I underestimated on that one. So
John Foley for 5 says, since Kyle has breached fiduciary duty, even if the books are correct, which they're not, isn't he liable for all of the cost plus what he owes you?
He's liable for 3 times. Yeah. I asked my lawyer specifically, what about the treble damages? He's like, yes, it's almost a given that we'll get treble damages because he was found for fraud and he was found that he didn't show the books prior. That's considered against North Carolina state statute, and we were going to be suing for treble damages. That's probably going to be a given. The problem is we don't know whether we sue, how much to be the treble damages, which should be, if we took the numbers off this, it would be $25,000 times 3, which is $75,000.
Yeah, or is it he dropping out?
I did drop out.
You're not dropping out. I understood everything that you were saying.
Yeah,
it's probably on your end.
It's probably me then.
Okay, so
I'm hovering at the edge of my Wi-Fi. That's why.
If we just took the numbers as is, it's $25,000 times 3. If we can find some more revenue, and actually just by including the assets, we can get up to $60,000, right? Because there's the Streamlabs, not Streamlabs, the vMix,
and the tablet,
and other stuff, and I think there's other revenue streams. So this
hand sanitizer is asking, YouTube takes a percentage of the super chats, thus would some of these figures be overstated?
No, this is after.
No, because these are the after YouTube
this is net.
takes
This is not
their
gross.
amount.
Yeah,
they should be at least.
Yeah, this is net. But if we could get it to about 60,000, that would be 30,000 times 3, which is $90,000 plus 10,000 for court costs of 100,000. That's the numbers that I was throwing out there to people, and that would be right. Now, again, we're about 50-50 whether he's going to have to pay legal fees. That's something we're going to probably have to fight for. North Carolina doesn't do it, but when you're found for this many frauds and contempt, the judge probably might go for it. There are statutes for that to be had. So I think it's
not unheard of. It's not common, right. But it's not unheard of.
Yeah, and we will ask for it. But we will get the treble damages. So it's just a matter of, we have to have the books to get the treble damages. This is why we've been trying to get the actual numbers. Not just him, believe me on this, right? Okay, so this is number of shows per month. What the hell does it have to do with the books? He put a lot of work in this for no reason.
Nothing at all.
Look, absolutely nothing.
At all. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, I don't get any of that. And by the way, he didn't give me the domain either. The www, which I don't really want that much, but whatever.
It's the principle. It's the principle. Matter.
Yeah, it still matters.
Well, that and it gives you the email address, Steve, which is important because it's all over the YouTube page and every freaking video that's out there.
And
you want that.
You're right. The email address is attached to that domain, isn't it?
Yes, live at nonsexshow.com.
God damn it. Oh, you're right. Shit. Damn it. You're absolutely right. Because I told my lawyer today, he didn't give me the email, live at nonsexshow.com, which should have been mine, which also including. Because that would have been, I don't even know why I didn't think about that. That is with the actual domain, which it was supposed to be turned over to me, which was explicit, by the way. Explicit in the order. So he failed on that. Again, failed to comply.
Okay,
so now he's listing the assets, which I've seen these file names look really familiar.
Hang on, guys. Hang on. I realized that it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm staying up late to talk about what is actually absolutely nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and jet here.
Well, real quick before you do this. See this stuff? Some of this stuff in here. I use Hitman. He doesn't use Hitman Pro.
Nope.
And without Ejectocito. Bye-bye.
Yeah, okay.
Bye.
And final
I'm
video.
not going to stay much longer either because
I'm
I
almost
think
done.
the rest of this is mostly
I'm almost
assets.
Man, we're not even halfway through. Jesus.
Oh no, we're done. The rest of it's graphics, but
Okay.
yeah, so we're almost done. But I mean, what is this? My project. What does this tell anybody? And,
I enjoy that all of this
what
non-compliance
does this have to do?
is
Well,
all
I will
wrapped
tell you.
up.
I will tell you. These are the file names of things that I used on the show every day, and I'm telling you right now, like my project,
my project 19. Yeah.
Is the it's the logo that says that Kyle has the best hair and to like and subscribe. That's what that is.
This is
What are the odds
unreal.
that the Golden Nun is in here, which was done by David
McGinnis. Yeah.
Yeah.
McGinnis did the Golden Nun.
So
And
I mean,
on top of that, I'm enjoying how all of this non-compliance is all wrapped up in a document titled, what was it called again? Compliance?
yeah. If you guys don't think for a second that when we tell you that Kyle was trying to take over everything and he made it all about him, this document should shed so much light on that, on him making all about him.
So can we emphasize real quick that hey, if you didn't believe this before, that some people may owe apologies to the fans and to Steve after they told the fans to go fuck themselves and Steve to go fuck themselves, and they weren't apologizing, and their faces are all in this document. Maybe they should probably eat shit and apologize.
And this is his little album release.
Yeah,
he did towards the end there,
which is again Non-Seq Show.
Oh, look at that!
Just saying.
Wow, I'm just at a loss. I can't. And then it gets better. There's all these different graphics he thinks that the judge is going to give a shit about. Really?
Did he pay
Really?
for using
Really?
It gets better. It gets better. Go past all these.
None of this
Did
is
he
even.
use Reds to use Reds' logo? Did he pay for those?
None of this is even
keep going. Get
admissible.
to that stuff. This is just the stuff that he did for the show, and I'll grant him that he did a good job on this
This
stuff.
is
But
a
he doesn't
lot of-
own it because he did it for the show.
This is a lot of effort for nothing. This would be in the discovery phase, if anything. None of this applies. It's only about the books. The books, which are supposed to be to my lawyer, not to the court.
Right.
Zonia for 10 says, glad you're finally going to get some closure, guys. What a headache. I'm sure Kyle's gonna file bankruptcy or
He
something.
can't.
But there's a horizon. Hope it resolves soon and satisfactory.
Thank you, Zona. But no, he cannot file for bankruptcy on this because this is when you have a fraud or breach of fiduciary duty, you cannot discharge those under a Chapter 7 or 11 bankruptcy, or 13 or whatever.
Well, he could file for personal bankruptcy outside of this case. It's just that wouldn't help
It's
him.
going to follow him.
What happened?
Yeah, it would not help him with this case.
No, what happens is the debt. Let's say let's say we get. Let's say this was $25,000. That's the minimum you can sue for in court, in business court, $25,000. Let's go low end. $25,000 times 3, $75,000. Even if we don't get any additional things for the lawyer's fees, we could sue up to $25,000 per count, right? But that is under the fact that he was fraudulent and breach of fiduciary duty. So let's say he got a $75,000 judgment against him, which could be again lowballing. Okay, no kidding.
Yes, Steve.
Yes,
God.
Okay. If you try to file bankruptcy, debtors have to be notified of that. And what I would do is put an injunction against it. This debt is not dischargeable. In North Carolina, debts are good up to 10 years, unlike other states. It's good for 10 years, and they're renewable. That will follow him around as a judgment for collections if I don't sell the debt outright, and that will affect his credit report. That'll stay there. What's the word? In perpetuity, I guess? Yes.
Until he pays it off anyway.
Yes. And by the way, you know what the interest rate is for North Carolina? 8% simple interest, not compounded.
No
That's
idea.
high. So if the judgment is $100,000, which again, we're gonna go for broke. I don't know how much we can sue for each count. It's up to $25,000. My lawyer will tell me what we will sue for, but it could be potentially quite high, especially because of this letter. We can ask. I'll go for I don't care. I'll sue for $25,000 per count if we can. But even on a $100,000 judgment, 8% is $8,000 a year, just on simple interest alone because it's non-compounded.
Out of curiosity, are you going to put the link to download this file in the description?
Sure.
So
you can get it from the court. You can get it from the court. It's up there.
Yeah, it's from the court, but I'll put the court. I think she's asking me to put the link to the court. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that right now. So it's actually in the video description right now. So you just go to NCBC courts. It's in the video description. So you just go there, type my name in, McRae.
These are amusing.
So this is
copyright all of these as if it's are those just blue boxes with nothing else?
Yeah, he's trying to copyright the layouts. Yeah, like this.
Those are the layouts for the channel. Yeah.
None of this works this way.
I honestly think that you should actually offer to sell it back for him for the price he listed.
Oh my God. I gotta tell you, man, I saw this last night and I was like, it's like manna from heaven.
He's trying to actually, you know what he's trying to do? He's trying to use this also. He's trying to say that Steve, if he gets the channel back, has to take all the videos with him in it. Basically everything that's up there now.
Yeah, he's trying to get ahead of it as if, which he can't do. He already, that's not how that works.
Don't go too fast here. Don't go too fast here, Steve, because this is pictures of us now.
That's what she said. There. Okay. So what did I miss here? Did I miss anything? No.
Nope, not yet.
All right, I'm going to go back.
Apparently he copyrights radical homosexual.
Oh, well, I mean, I guess Jimmy better look out about that one. I guess Jimmy's going to owe him a shit ton of money, too.
Apparently, Christopher Hitchens, he's got a copyright on him.
Huh, apparently. Of the Earth. You got a screenshot of the Earth.
Yeah.
So wait.
I think you're a little bit confused. They're asking if you really want to have to mess with this negativity for years and years. I mean, what is the chance he will have any money? I feel like you misheard what Steve just said.
Yeah.
He doesn't have
sell the debt.
He doesn't have to deal with any of this. And the lawyers deal with it, and Kyle has to deal with it, and Steve just collects a check.
And in North Carolina, there are cases. I've been looking into this. There are different ways of selling debt, and there's different ways of selling a judgment. And then they pay you on what you collect. Now, this is the kind of cool thing. I didn't realize this, but if a lawyer goes after somebody for money, they're not held to the same. I think it's General Statute Route 25, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. They're not held to the same thing that a debt collector's held by. Their hands are not tied. There's certain rules a debt collector has to abide by. A lawyer does not if they're collecting on behalf of an agent of a client, which is really interesting. So, on that. So, yeah, we're going to worry about that one step at a time. But anyways, so all this stuff, this is just, oh my God, I'm just floored. Yeah.
Keep going.
All this was for the business. Oh,
there's my picture.
There's your picture.
There's me.
Oh my God.
That's a picture of me. He's trying to copyright a picture of me that I took on my fucking cell phone.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, look, and Steve's over there too in that one.
Yeah.
Yep. Steve's
And there's Steve and Kyle, the pictures that he made of you guys. Yeah. Well, to the left a little bit more too. The ones that he uses on the socks, where one sock is Kyle and one sock.
These are considered to be all part of the business. Look at that. This is not. He didn't even make that. Somebody else made that. So
somebody else made that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not his. Yeah. Neither's that picture of me.
So
just saying, it's a picture of me I took with my phone.
This is
but he put that snazzy background behind it.
This is
well, that's because he cut me out to put me in something else.
This is deceptive as hell, and of course, the judge doesn't give a crap about any of this. This is
this is meaningless. That's the sad part.
I'm going to be surprised if the judge even looks at this because it wasn't.
Oh, apparently he did list the golden nuns according to David.
Yeah, keep going. We'll see if they show up.
That's it.
Keep going.
That's it. It's last page.
Oh, then he didn't list the golden nuns.
No. List it in the list, not in the screenshots that he gave.
Didn't see any of it actually, but I may have missed it. If Dave saw it, I trust him. But anyway, I gotta run. I just wanted to show my picture up there because, like, how do you copyright somebody else's selfie? That's fucked up. Anyway, I gotta run.
Bye, Bull.
Bye, Bull.
I've literally been talking about this for
way too long.
like 6 hours now.
Yeah, I know you've done a lot of programs. All right, thank you, buddy. Yeah, we're going to wrap this soon. Unless we're going to get a couple questions from the audience out here. Like I said, I don't know what else people need. I don't. But at this point, there's going to be two camps. There's the people that just want to believe Kyle for the sake that he has pretty hair. Be my guest. Be my guest.
What do you mean? Look at the photo you're showing right now. Kyle's got the pretty hair.
Yeah. Well, you know what? To each his own, right? Some people like short. But you know, I don't care what people believe. What I care about is them purposely saying stuff that is demonstrably untrue. It has been demonstrated that Kyle committed fraud. I did not.
Whoa, you got double me going on.
Do I?
Yeah.
Oh, I do.
There's so many me's.
The audience is going to go nuts over that. Wait a sec. There we go. That's fixed. So, I mean, I think that anybody who looks at this document, if they even think for a second this is going to be anything that helps Kyle, they should never get into accounting. They should never get into law. They should never do anything of any kind that requires any kind of actual critical thinking. This document helps me to no end, because now when we ask for like the punitive stuff, which is like up to $25,000 per count, fraud, right? I think we could probably ask for $25,000 fraud. Now, I can't say that for sure because I haven't talked to my lawyer on that. There's one question I forgot to ask him. So,
Godless Scubber makes a good point. They said the good side of all this is that everyone who was disappointed that Kyle didn't win Dumb Fuck of the Year, he kind of put himself in the running again.
That might be the case. That might be the case. We'll see what happens when all is said and done. But this is where we stand now. We're going to give Kyle till Monday.
Oh, really? He's got all the way to Monday?
Well, because nobody don't file on a Friday. It doesn't do any good. And you don't file over the weekends. You can, but
it's up to the lawyer. It's up to the lawyer. I'm sure the lawyer has their reasons for waiting till Monday.
Yeah, he's got some stuff he has to look into as well. So he thinks he'll be prepared by Monday to do a motion to show cause why he didn't comply with the order. And so we can expect that.
Why did he include the message about you looking at impact to medical? Oh, probably because that was one of the questions from the chat.
Oh, because he was bullshitting about that from day one, and he knew he was just trying to throw that off the case. I mean, off the fact he was trying to take the money and take the channel. We all know that was a complete lie. As a matter of fact,
yeah, and he's trying to add it to the court.
Yeah, in fact, I included that in the original complaint that was going to be in there because we were going to sue him for defamation per se. I told the lawyer we're not going to include it only because it would have taken longer to get the court case going, and I wasn't interested in that. There was enough we already had on him, and once the case is done, then you can go back and revisit that. But he knew that the whole medical thing was bullshit. I was very clear about that. I was very transparent about that. But he needed something to throw people off the fact that he didn't have the books, which is obvious now, that he was cooking them because of accounts payable. Like I said, this was BS. So yeah, that's why he didn't include it to the court. If he thought for a second I did anything wrong, why didn't he include it in this? Right? He said he was going to, right? And he said, "Oh, my lawyer is looking at all the stuff Steve did to commit fraud and the tax evasion and all this other stuff." There was no lawyer. So that was all BS.
Kyle was full of shit from the beginning.
Yes.
And you know what? Sorry, Steve. And sorry, non-sequitur fans. Jenny for 199 says, Daddy, why is Curtis Kyle such a liar and a scum?
I couldn't answer you, dear child. I don't know.
TD Lane says, why? So what's the first on the menu for when non-sec comes back? I think a good old-fashioned roast of a creationist is in order. I
wouldn't mind doing some. Yeah, we're gonna get back. We're gonna get into creationism and some other stuff as well. I'm not gonna give a tired game plan away, but
I still want to have Paul and Morgan on. Paul and Morgan, the Paul and Morgan show.
If they're coming in, I know very little about them, but I'm happy to.
I just want to have a conversation with them. I think that would be fun. I think it would be entertaining. I don't want to be mean. Yeah. I don't want to be mean to them. I just think they would be really fun to actually have a conversation with because
totally fine with that.
They have some interesting ideas, and I would love to talk to them about those ideas.
I would be fine with that.
So if anybody knows how to get a hold of them, let us know.
We'll reach out. Yeah, we'll reach out. That's fine. So what else we got?
Can I devour some creationists at Dapper Dino?
Yes, we already planned on that, Dapper. we already included you in that. That's kind of a given, isn't it?
Hand sanitizer is asking if Boole had an agreement with you and Kyle on the per show fee. No, that was something that they tried to implement once they brought Boole on as a regular.
But
Kyle wouldn't talk to anybody, so
I have a verbal agreement with Boole per show that I do with him, and but I've already worked that out with Boole. I make sure Boole gets paid. He doesn't have to wait 30 days. So
I'm gonna send Steve my Amazon wish list that is now full of onesies, so he can put it in the description.
Why is it too big?
So many onesies.
You really want me to include that in the video description?
Yes.
Okay.
The chat has spoken.
All right.
You cannot defy
what
the chat.
What am I looking at? Do I even want to look at these onesies?
Yes.
Oh
yeah,
my
you
god.
Do.
Is that the pig thing? Oh
no, but I can add them if you want.
What am I looking at here? Oh, okay. Oh, this is your wish list. I got you. Okay.
It's my Amazon wish list,
and
there's a buttload of onesies on there.
Oh, those are cute. All right.
I'll wear them for the Caffeine Corner shows.
Oh, I like the Wonder Woman's one.
Yeah, that was one of the first suggestions.
Here, I'll show people this.
These were all suggested by people from the chat, except for the Charizard. I just happened to find the Charizard one. So
Wonder Woman fighting the forces of evil. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can do that.
Do we have any more questions?
I'm sure we're going all night long with questions.
Can we add to it? I don't know if that's an option, but if that's an option, tell me how to do it, and I will make it available for you guys to add stuff to it.
Yeah. Somebody asked how did Steve and I get together in the first place. That's a long story. That's gonna have to say that for another time. But we've already said
Who? You and Kyle?
Yeah, basically, yeah. He just was looking for somebody to do a show with, and he was doing an article on something, and he liked the way I was doing shows with the Great Debate community, and he wanted to take it to a podcast.
Dapper, we've been over this. I had all of the books. I even had Exandria, and I don't have any of them anymore. I lost all of my D&D books in the move stuff. I don't have any of them anymore. That includes Bolo's Guide.
And so I want to do a podcast. He wanted to do a podcast, and I said, let's do a YouTube channel. So it was my suggestion. I started the YouTube channel, which, by the way, in a Discord, he said, "What? Steve started the YouTube channel? Really? Yeah. Okay. I mean, okay."
There's okay, hold on. We've got a couple of questions here. Question: will the onesie have a butt flap? Maybe. Go look at the list. Will there be a Non-Sequitur Show D&D campaign? If I can get all of the books again, I will do everything within my power to set one up. Hand Sanitizer asks, do you think the Non-Sequitur Show is damaged? And if so, basically, why not start a new channel? Because starting a new channel is a fucking nightmare.
Especially getting monetized.
2, it's the principle of the thing. And 3, the Non-Sequitur is a brand, not just a channel. So the brand has weight to it, even if Kyle has damaged it. With Kyle being completely removed, I'm pretty sure we're confident we can rectify any damage that has been done to it.
I would agree. Yeah, there's reasons why for everything, but like the fact he said in that even that letter that I would be back at primary owner of it. He has not fulfilled that yet, which by the way was a directive from the court as an order. That's another thing that will show that is a contempt. So
I put the green screen on that list, by the way, so I could play Beat Saber.
But so I guess kind of leaving everybody that there are going to be people that are going to be talking about this stuff, and these people that have been talking about this stuff have gotten everything wrong. Not
everyone.
Well, no.
Danger Zone and Elusive Man did a solid.
Elusive Man did a solid job. I watched his thing. Elusive Man did a solid breakdown. I got to admit, In Time with Nick did a solid breakdown. Okay, but the people but see the difference is Defango or Elusive Man. He has talked to me a little bit, and I trust him that he's going to try to do the best to make sure the facts are out. Nick is going to do his best to make sure the facts are out. I've talked to him, but there are other people out there that are not as due diligent in wanting to get the facts out, and they're just interested in trying to smear me. They're going to put out false information, and so that's just going to happen. We have to expect that. But you can see now from your own eyes that Kyle was liable for fraud. He's continued perpetrating the fraud. This was just a joke. This was just an absolute joke. This was not notarized.
Does Kyle not have any claim to anything Non-Sequitur Show in the future? I'm going to let the chat answer that. Hey, guys, number 1 in the chat, if you think Kyle has any claim whatsoever, on anything Non-Sequitur Show in the future. 2 in the chat if you think absolutely fucking not. Kyle gets honking big chunk of nothing to do with Non-Sequitur after this. 1 in the chat if you think Kyle does have anything to do with Non-Sequitur after this. Number 2 in the chat if you think he doesn't.
Yeah, and we're going to make sure of that. We're going to take care of that. Oh, look at Kenny Rose. Kylo Ken is in the Dr. Kenny Rhodes is in the live chat. Dr. Kenny Rhodes, by the way, guess what, man? Did you see that I was with Dr. Fuzz Rana in West Covina, and I'm going to be doing an actual show with Dr. Fuzz Rana. Yay! How cool is that? I got to be in Dr. Swearing's office, and I was talking to Dr. Ken Samples, and I got Dr. Hugh Ross for a little while. That was really cool. They were all, by the way, got to admit, they were some of the nicest people in the world. Reasons to Believe has been very good, very nice people, and I'm happy to actually been associated with them. So, and Dr. Kenny Rhodes is with Reasons to Believe. So, anyways, I don't know where you're going to go with this, but
2 people who think that Kyle might have something to do with Non-Sequitur. So, can you please tell me why you think that?
Yeah, I'm curious too.
Because like that's an honest question. That is not, we're not trying to troll you.
Once you breach a contract with fraud and breach of fiduciary duty, the contract becomes unenforceable. Okay, so Kyle has no contract that he can enforce upon this. Right now, we are going to take some further legal steps, but he's just out of his mind. He's just out of his mind. But right now, the goal is to get the actual books, and he owes me money. And so if there's no money to be had there, he needs to tell the judge, where the hell's the money? Because even if he billed himself, there should be money there. Would you guys not be upset? Because he said there was money there. Hey, Steve, you can have the money anytime. Right? And people are like, you didn't want to take it, Steve. Well, no, I wanted to take it after I saw the books because I want to know what's going on. But come to find out, if I would have told him, sure, send me the money, what would he have sent me? I think there's money still there, probably, but I think he's hiding it.
Cajun Crustacean for $2 said, Kyle, you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. I said good day.
Yeah, I think he might be hiding something, but he can tell the judge that. So this is what our course of action is as we stand.
No, he wouldn't legally own anything.
He wouldn't legally own anything.
He already lost all of that the first round. That was the first half of the judgment. So when he didn't show up, anything that he would have legally owned is already out. This entire paperwork is just a joke. It's not actually like he can't claim anything on any of that stuff for obvious reasons.
Yeah, and then he's claiming, I get 50%, blah blah blah. No. No. You don't tell a judge that. You don't say this is what I'm going to get. So what he was trying to do is he's trying to like this with a motion. Normally you file a motion and then the order gets signed by the judge that this is what he accepts. He did that in a letter. Okay, a letter is just a letter, and he wasn't, like I said, wasn't notarized, so it's nothing that he's even saying is the case. So it's weird. It just makes no sense what he did. None.
I don't agree, but in brackets. The argument I hear is that it would remain as a 50-50 of split funds unless the court specifically orders it, according to some people's fans, regarding of how this works. I don't know how this works. I hate to inform you.
Yeah,
once there's been absolutely no one.
There's been something called a repeated. I think it's called what is it called? God damn it. It's a fundamental
essentially
breach.
What it comes down to is no, there can't be after this kind of a breach in contract with fraud involved and now more fraud stacked on top of it, the court cannot and will not enforce any kind of pre-existing deal because the deal is null and void. Any contract that the court does agree that they have is now voided because it cannot continue properly at all anyway.
It's called a repudiatory breach. And what repudiatory breach is, quote, this is an actual breach of I can't read this. I'm sorry, it's too small for me.
Do you want me to send it to me?
Yeah, I'm just reading off Wikipedia, but now I can read this on the other thing. Here we go. A repudiatory breach. This is an actual breach of an innominate term where the consequences of the breach are sufficiently serious to give rise to the right to terminate. This is a type of breach that makes the entire contract, as my lawyer put it, unenforceable, because there's a breach of significance So yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that so the court agrees that there was a contract. However, because Kyle is found in breach of a contract, it voids the contract for future.
Yes.
Whatever. Now, if Steve wanted to, for some reason, I guess because he's a fucking idiot, decided to make another contract with Kyle, he could do that, but it would have to be a new negotiated.
Yeah.
The thing is that Kyle breached the contract.
Yeah. I mean,
so the contract is void to be enforced in any way, shape, or form because Kyle broke the contract.
Yeah, we'll explicitly put it as dissolved at some point, right?
Right.
But that's that. Like I even told people before, at the very end, when you get toward the end of the settlement, everything's said and done. We say, okay, this has met this thing. We've got the judgment for the money. We got the accounts. This matter is now settled, right? The partnership is dissolved. Blah blah blah. That's how you phrase it, right? So we already planned on all that. So.
David Thompson asked, I have a huge watch later list from NonSequitur Show. Do I need to wait for you to have possession and it to be active to help with analytics?
Yes.
It'd be great if you did.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you have to,
yeah.
but it would be very helpful if you did so.
Yeah.
If you waited, that'd be great.
But it's
much
so
appreciated.
It's so weird because Kyle knows right now he isn't breached. He knows. Why did he bother with this? Because he didn't give me the channel. The channel was supposed to already been given to me. Now, he might think for some reason he has 14 days, maybe, which he'd be wrong about, which means he has till Wednesday night, I believe.
Didn't your lawyer send a letter to him to let him know that, no, you need to do this like now, though?
He said immediately, yes. Yes.
And even if he did, well, here's the thing. Even if he thought he had 14 days, which is, okay, fine. He misunderstood that. That's fine. A lot of us misunderstood that he still had.
Right. It wasn't until Sean pointed that out to me, actually. So I misunderstood too.
Yeah, exactly. And that's fine. If he misunderstood that, he's still screwed because he's fucked with the Twitter. He's fucked with the passwords. He put himself now in a position where he actually is incapable of fulfilling what the court has ordered. He cannot give you access to that channel anymore because he made this crap public before he sent it to your lawyer.
Yeah, exactly. And
somebody else made it public on him when they shouldn't have, in which case that may be a completely different issue.
I love this. Travis C is right. Travis said, and he was talking to Sean, but he said, just like how I was telling them Steve owned the channel and was 50-50 was proven, and yet they were dissing me for saying that. Next day was the court saying 50-50, and now they're saying, oh, well, Kyle gets 50-50. This is how wrong these people have been. Every one of these narrators have not talked to me, because, DeFango has talked to me, Nick has talked to me, but anybody who's not talked to me directly, they've gotten it wrong.
Hand Sanitizer asked, why not just offer him some sort of deal at this point to limit your legal costs? At some point, doesn't it start to cost more than you will get? Yeah.
My lawyer reached out to me. He hasn't talked to my lawyer.
Following this? Because
he hasn't talked to my lawyer.
A big portion of the why and how this is getting funded. I would recommend watching the last video, which I think was on Red's Rhetoric's channel. Where Glenn was there, and I would recommend you check that one out. Or was it a Rum and Coke?
I don't remember.
Anyway, I can find that for you later if you want. But I would recommend. The thing is that this is already all covered, and there are ways to get that money back.
Yes.
Out of Kyle, so that it's not an issue of that. It's just fucking.
And it's good for 10 years.
Really good advice to Kyle. Not to Steve.
Oh, did we not say that Kyle should have talked to my lawyer ages ago?
Oh, yeah.
Because the judgment we would not had trouble damages. We would not he would not have been found for fraud. He would not have been found for unjust enrichment, unfair and deceptive trade practices and conversion. He has been found liable of these. There's no go backs on that. Done.
I don't think this lamp is an antique. I'm pretty sure it's just a little bit tacky of a lamp that we kind of like. If you do a NonSequitur Show D&D campaign, then the big evil needs to be a gnome named Kyle Curran. Baby, are you thwarting my plans?
Maki says, are you still going to pursue getting the legal cost adjudicated to Kyle? Yes. But I can't tell you that that's going to be likely. I don't know. At this point, I would say the odds are 50-50. But even my lawyer was like, we're going to try, and there probably is a good standing that will get the lawyer's cost. But my lawyer did not did he not go out on a limb and say we are definitely? Now he did say the chances are extremely high, if not almost a given. Not his words, but fundamentally speaking, that we will get treble damages. He said it was already in the original thing that we're going to be getting treble damages. That's the order from the court, and so, my lawyers accepted that the way it's worded, the judge has already accepted that we'll get treble damages. So
there's also the secondary half of that is that portion of the ruling hasn't been made yet. It's not part of the first portion, right? So the first portion was just, yes, there was an agreement. Yes, this stuff should be owned by this person. And now you need to provide this so we can move on to the next step. Getting legal fees comes at the end.
Yes, exactly. We'll tack that on.
Can I do 3D models of the game? Yeah, if you want. Would the first person to release the passwords possibly be in trouble for interfering in the judgment? I don't know. I think there's potential problems, but I don't know what those problems are. I live in Canada, and so the rules here are completely different anyway, let alone like the differences between the country jump and to the jump between states. So what do you think, Steve? Is it possible that whoever released those passwords publicly could be in shit?
I'll say this. My lawyer has some stern words to say words to word in the document on the breach of order to show cause about him releasing the public passwords. Let's just say that he's definitely going to address that.
So it will be addressed, is what we can tell you then.
But Kyle would have to go back in now and actually try to get the accounts back, and then send him the passwords anew. So he would have to show
Dapper
that.
Said that he's going to charge us after the fact for making 3D models of the D&D characters.
Kyle would have to pretty much say that the accounts were compromised, and that he would have to go get them back because he did not fulfill the court order by giving them to the lawyer. What he did was he gave them to he basically left the passwords open, so we can't go. I mean, we don't care about any destruction to the stuff because the account information is still physically there. That stays on the server side, so there's no problem there. But him giving the public passwords, it was not fulfilling the court order. That was not. You don't do that. That's why my lawyer sent him a specific letter saying to Kyle, send us the emails and the passwords. Let us know if you're going to be sending it courier or something. So somebody's in the office. I've already showed that document. Kyle did not abide by that. So he did not fill the directive of my lawyer and the legal thing. So yeah, he's failing to comply left and right. Yeah. All right.
Travis has a decent question / comment. It says, so according to this document, in 2018, you were at a net loss of $20K. Did Kyle ever tell you about that? I'd imagine mass debt is something you would tell your partner about.
Yeah. Well, clearly. And you'd also have to, I wonder how he did his taxes. Did he, how did he claim this on his taxes? All that income. Think about this. Again, what was the word that started with a P that people usually do stuff, but they put it on somebody else?
Projection?
Yeah. So everything that he accused me of, like fraud, he committed, right? Fiscal malfeasance and tax evasion. So I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of projection there.
There's a lot of issues in this document.
See, and I was transparent. I gave my tax documents, I gave my actual taxes to both Glenn and to Bullinator. Both of them. I was transparent. So did Kyle be transparent?
Favorite comment of the night. This chick is butch as fuck. Yo, what up? It's me, your boy.
Wait, you're Butch?
I'm butch as fuck.
You are not Butch.
Butch as fuck.
Who said you were Butch?
I'm drinking more beer.
Wait, that's not beer.
This is what
you have beer in a 2-liter?
What?
Since when does beer come in a 2-liter?
Yeah.
Is that you put the beer in there, or is that you buy it that way?
My family orders and brews buys their own specialty from a place, and they bottle it like this. I
got you. Yeah. And by the way, please note here who's drinking here, because supposedly I'm an alcoholic, even though I can't drink very much because I have stomach problems. I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Listen.
I don't judge.
Alcoholism.
Yeah, I don't judge.
You started.
I wish I could drink more. I would if I could. I have to pace myself. I can only do it. That's why we have rum and coke only once a week or once every other week, even when I do drink. It's very rare.
Well, sometimes you have rum and cokes and you don't actually drink.
That's true. Very true. And I'm still holding you accountable for the little bit of scotch extra that I had on Drunky Peasants that I should have had a chaser with. I was probably like 3 shots
That's
max.
not my fault. You messed up with a chaser.
Oh God. Yeah.
Why didn't I pour another one of these?
This
is a terrible
I can't
idea.
drink that much. Yeah, I'm such a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. I really am.
Oh my God. If that was an option, is there an option to have like a skip the dishes set up that'll not tell people where I live and people can send me pizza?
Oh, that'd be
Is
awesome.
that a thing?
I had Jack in the Box today. It was really good.
Ooh, I ate a spinach salad. I have a little bit of soup waiting for me downstairs.
Yeah, I was gonna go shopping, but I was like, tell my landlord he wanted to go out. I was like, this is. I'll buy you some Jack in the Box.
Hi, Clockwork.
So good night, Clockwork. So David says, Thompson says, you think he did taxes? That's cute. I don't know, but again, I unlike other YouTubers out there that literally pull stuff out of their ass and just throws it out there. I don't do that. Everything I have has been backed up by the word evidence. I've been consistent from day one. I appreciate every single one of the non-sec fans that trusted with me to hang in there and to see this through, and knowing that I told them certain things, I fulfilled my obligation to show them evidence for it, and everybody else that have said things provided no evidence. None. Because did Kyle ever provide, correct me if I'm wrong, Chess, did Kyle ever provide any actual evidence to the court of anything he's saying? These are all assertions.
This is the only document Kyle has ever presented to the court.
And this isn't evidence.
This isn't evidence. This is just him saying what something is.
My lawyer straight out said, this is not evidential. This is not evidence. This is not what we're looking for. This is not what the court is looking for. But I have to be honest with you. My lawyer was honest, with me. He's like, the courts are very lenient when it comes to pro se people, meaning you don't have an attorney. However, this was so egregious that there might be some ramifications, but I cannot tell you guys what will happen for sure. But I can tell you this does not comply with the court order. My lawyer will write a letter to him tomorrow and letting him know this does not comply with the court order. And then by Monday, if we don't have the channel, well, actually, I should have had the channel by now, but we'll file with the court that he did not give me the channel by the expected time. Whether he gives it to me now or it doesn't matter. It wasn't by the expected time. It wasn't immediately after a demand letter. He gave this letter. He didn't give me the channel. In this letter, he says, by this date, I'll have this. He didn't fulfill it, right? So that's non-compliance. And then the judge my lawyer told me we'll have a due date for Kyle to come in front of the judge and speak to him personally, voluntarily, right? And then if he doesn't do that, then he said the sheriff's department will go out and actually physically arrest him and bring him in probably for contempt. That's
Warning,
generally what
it
works.
of Jack in the Box and pizza is copyrighted Taste Craft. You have to pay Mr. K. Curtis $200 to speak about food.
But anyways, we have 400 people watching, and I'm sure, a couple thousand people probably watch this. I just really do want to thank all the people that have been looking at the evidence.
Holy shit, there's 400 people watching this? I've made a grave error.
There was 450 before.
So can I just real quick, I got this because I was ringing this, and that's why I'm drinking all this. I was ringing the bell. But I feel like we should ring ourselves out of here when we're ready to leave.
Sounds good.
Ready to go.
Somebody says
my screens are being reflected in my glasses, by the way. That's actually my dual.
I can see that. Somebody says lawyers can collect a debt a lot easier than just anyone like you and me. You are very much correct on that, Nova. And lawyers are not held accountable for the same types of collection methods as a debt collector. They have a lot more things they can do, and they're paid for it. So
they have access to
they have access,
shit.
Right? Oh, there's so much access stuff. This is not going to go over well.
Quick, send me the bell emotes.
Panda says, is this a little too late, even if it was actually real? It would be considered too late. Yes, the judgment is already in. This is considered to be something that there's an injunction against filing this kind of discovery after a default judgment. If this would have been before the default judgment, it's a little different story, but it's not. None of this is evidence. You cannot submit evidence after default judgment. He is done. If anything, this will probably show the judge that the fraud, the conversion, the breach of fiduciary duty, the liability that he was found liable for it was actually legit, clearly. And that when we go to file for punitive damages up to $25,000 per count on those, we're probably going to get a lot more than we're asking for, I hope. That's the way I'm looking at it. But I will tell you, I didn't get a chance to talk to my lawyer on that particular issue. I forgot to ask him. I did email him on it. What about up to $25,000 per count? He has not gotten back to me on it. As soon as he does, I'll let you guys know. But I will never lie to you guys. I'll never tell you guys something that I didn't talk to my lawyer about. You guys have been in the loop from day one. So.
Oh yeah, we've done as much as we can to make sure you guys know what's going on, because I mean, a lot of you guys are non-sequitur fans and are future non-sequitur fans. Yep. So why would we want to screw you guys over in any way? Like, what would be the... Oh my God, somebody sent me a link to a place that will order me pizza.
Ah, nice. So somebody says, Steve, you're wrong. Get a new lawyer. The advice is incorrect. Okay, so Mr. James here, are you a lawyer?
Oh wait, we got a lawyer?
I don't know.
Steve, you're wrong. Get a new lawyer.
This channel has no content. So let's see this.
That's interesting because we had a lawyer in here that we verified actually is a lawyer, saying that his lawyer was very wise.
So let's play a game here. James, are you a lawyer?
Hold on, I'm gonna go to.
Because internet lawyers, yeah. I mean,
go to their channel. What do you got going on? Oh, this channel doesn't have any content. Has
Shocker,
2 subscribers, right? And has legitimately only the homepage. Has nothing else listed.
Okay. We'll see and wait your apology. Actually, I've asked you a question, Candace James. Are you a lawyer?
Yes or no?
Is she a lawyer? Okay, Mrs. actually she says a miss. So
Miss, are you? A lawyer?
So we're paying a very expensive lawyer that's a senior partner that you say is wrong. Where's the evidence for that, please? We always like, we let people give evidence. Yeah. So.
Just a question. Was there anything in the document that said who he paid for the debt? I'm not sure I understand the question. So he paid himself, I think, is that answers the question.
Well, no, he says
the reason that there's debt is because Kyle was using the show to pay himself.
But no, this is weird, though, because he says he has outstanding invoices and then accounts payable. If there's account payable that are outstanding that has not been paid, where's the money?
Yeah, the money should still be there.
Account payable means are open
if there's
accounts.
Invoices that have not been paid, then that means the money should be sitting there, and then that money would need to go to Kyle. So if the money isn't there, that means it was taken either preemptively and has been paid, or was never there to begin with.
Right. So either there's 2 things. Either the invoices have been, which are I think are completely fraud, but let's say it was legit because it's not. But
what?
The accounts.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Candace James is not a lawyer because the response was great. Let's want. I assume you mean wait. Let's wait and see the outcome of the hearing. Then you can make me a mod when you see I'm right. The hearing is already over.
Candace, the trial's over. I don't know. You need to catch up here. Kyle lost. There's already been a fall judgment. There is no discovery phase. The case is over. The only thing we're trying to do is get the monetary amount what we're suing for. All the other stuff that he put.
It's okay. Candace is just 2 months behind.
Very much behind. All the stuff that's
wibbly wobbly timey wimey.
That's all the stuff that's in the document is irrelevant. You cannot give expository and evidence after a default judgment. You're barred from that. There's an injunction for that. So you already you know what you're talking about. You've already lost. They were lost. But now I forgot what I was actually going to say though. Shoot.
I agree with hand sanitizers. They said, to be fair, ask 2 lawyers a question and you can get 3 different answers, i.e. many times they will disagree. I agree, but I don't think we're talking to a lawyer.
Yeah, well, she says.
And there's also a difference between if you're going to a lawyer who's just started, a person in law school, and a senior partner of a
she's
firm,
like, there will be a hearing of costs. No, Candace, no. You're just way off. There's no, I don't think you have a clue what you're talking about.
That's a big oof. That's a big oof right there.
Yeah, the case is over. There's nothing more to be the case. The case is done.
The court will decide.
We're in the
left right now is either one, Kyle gets dragged in front of the court for contempt for a different issue, which has nothing like whatever has already been awarded has already been awarded.
Yeah,
so Kyle getting dragged in front of the judge changes nothing about what's been awarded. Now,
right.
The only thing that might change and is right now still up in the air is the total number of costs. That's not a hearing.
Oh, Candace is that Nancy person? Sorry, go ahead.
It's not a hearing, and it's not like the court's not a judge isn't gonna sit around and decide how much money is what. That's not gonna happen.
Right. There's no hearing in a default judgment. Right.
They're going to let the lawyers decide what is going to be negotiated, what one is going to ask for, what the other is going to offer to provide, and then maybe the judge will be brought in again to make a decision. Yeah. But that's not.
She gets a timeout. I'm not going to delete her because I want her to come back around at some point to apologize, even though whatever. But she gets a timeout.
Yeah. So if they get a spanner when this hearing that doesn't exist happened, does that mean that this Candace person is going to become a member and start paying us when it turns out that they're completely
become a member of the NonSequitur Show? Yeah, that'd be great.
I think that's only fair. Like, if you want to make a bet,
no, I'm not going to make your
mod. Broski.
Hell no. I'm not doing that. They don't get no mod. Even though it's a safe bet.
Well, they wouldn't get the mod anyway because guess what?
She's wrong.
Non-compliance.
Yeah, I didn't delete Candace. I'm just give her timeout.
Yeah, it's just a timeout.
It's timeout. She'll be back in 5 minutes because I don't want to get too distracted.
Actually, there's also a difference between being civil. Oh, this might be a discussion for Capping Corner, actually. There's a difference between being... You can be a troll and still be civil.
Yeah.
You can be... And that's part of trolling. That's part of it. So you can come in here and be as civil as you want, but that does not make you an honest actor, and that does not make... You cannot swear, you cannot be accusatory, but you can still be being a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Not that I'm referring to Candace, I just mean in general. So I could come in here and I could say, well, I don't really know what's going on, but I'm just questioning this and this.
Well, Terra Ranger says they're a real lawyer and they say I'm wrong. Okay, what were we wrong about, real lawyer?
I'm a real lawyer.
Yeah, give me the statute that we're wrong about.
I got a better question. I got a better question. I'm going to ask something very, very specific, and you can tell me. If you can answer me this, riddle me this, motherfucker. If you can answer this question, then we might take you seriously.
Okay, go ahead.
Where is Steve from? Like, what state is he in? And why did they file in North Carolina and not wherever Steve is from? If you can answer those questions, then I will consider you a legitimate person.
And then I want to know why he thinks I'm wrong. Because obviously my lawyer and other lawyers disagree. So, I mean, and by the way, I wonder what he thinks I'm wrong about when he hasn't even looked at the case probably.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Tell me why it was filed in North Carolina. And David, don't ruin it. Why are you answering the question? I'm legitimately timing you out for that because you just pissed me off. Oops, I didn't mean to hide you.
Damn, girl. Sorry, Dave. You got it.
I unhid you.
Chesh is in a mood.
Timeout because you're not allowed to answer the questions for the person. Rude. No helping the trolls.
What does this guy say, Terry? But I'm not legitimate. I wrote it, lawyer.
I'm not a lawyer, but even I can answer that.
Yeah, I don't think he's a real lawyer.
Mean, it's not that difficult question. That's why I'm like, you need to at least know these things before we're going to take you seriously.
All right. So anyways, I don't know what else to go with it. I just want to give you guys, like I said, go over this. Why would you guys time him out again? Don't time him out again. Once is enough. And I don't even want to time out. Sorry, Dave. Dave Thompson. This is all on Chesh. Blame her.
He already sent me a message on Twitter.
Did he? Good. He should. Dave, just tell her to just tell her to piss off, Dave. You could do it on Twitter. That's fine. Now I'm going to take this back.
I don't have a phone number.
I should give him a wrench just for the inconvenience, but I got enough wrenches. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he was joking. The guy can't even spell lawyer. That's true.
I know he was joking, but he's answering the questions for trolls. And
no. The trolls can't spell lawyer, even though he's a lawyer. Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
Blame Canada.
Blame Canada. Blame Canada.
I've almost drinking this whole bottle.
Yeah, you're getting a little buzzed.
I had a bit of a buzz going. I needed to be able to get through that shit. Are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, I wish I could join you, but it's just I don't have the stomach for it. Just seeing if there's anything else in here worth.
When will Red be doing the live stream of deleting mods? I mean, whenever.
Yeah, I gotta have the show. Gotta have the channel back. Which, by the way, even if he gives me back now, I don't see how that's still not contempt. But it'd probably help his case. But he can't figure that out.
Well, he kind of fucked it up either way. Not giving him back, whether or not, that's an argument of semantic. Well, not semantics. It's an argument of like, you're just arguing like minor details. The point is that one, he didn't give it back, and two, he also fucked up in that he made the passwords public. So in this case.
Yeah, and so somebody took the NonSeq Show Twitter, by the way, the handle.
Oh, of course they did.
Yeah. Well, we kind of figured that.
Are they friend or foe?
It doesn't really matter, does it?
Or neutral? Did you guys actually read what this beer mug says? Steve, did you read this?
Built on the beautiful body. Oh, built this. Yeah. I got to mute for a second, so just do drunk stuff for a few seconds. You'll be able to hear the typing, but the outside can't. So.
Do drunk stuff? Is that like white girl dance? Whatever drunkies do. Oh my god, I'm talking to myself. Steve muted himself and made me look like an asshole. Oh, okay. Whatever. All right, so I do want to set up a D&D campaign. I have some ideas, but I really don't like working off of PDFs. I don't know if anybody else has that problem. I actually have the player's handbook downloaded on my phone, but I can't do a flip. I can't. I have it the PDF downloaded on my phone. I have access to the PDFs on my computer, of course, because I bought the books already. So that means that I have access to all of those. But I don't like looking at PDFs to actually work on D&D stuff. I prefer to have the books and a piece of paper and actually roll dice and actually look at it. I don't even have my dice anymore. You want me to run D&D? I will be more than happy to run a D&D session with NonSequitur or people who are part of NonSequitur or people who are part of the community, but I don't even have dice. So I don't have the stuff that I need to be able to even do that properly. However, you guys do need to either tweet at me or you need to let me know in the chat who you would actually want to see play. Because I think that's going to be like key importance. I already vote for Sweet Heathen. Also, I will straight up tell you, fuck y'all, I home rule the hell out of shit. So if somebody wants to play something that's completely batshit ridiculous, like, I don't know, I'm gonna be a succubus. I'm gonna be like, okay.
All right, how about we do this? How about we bring this to a close? I can start a new hangout to do D&D type stuff, or just hang out if people want to come in. Do you want to do that?
Hell no. I was just asking the chat if they want to see who's in. But I will just if we do a D&D thing, we'll just host it on my channel.
No. I don't care about that. Yeah, it's fine. No, right. I mean, tonight. Like, do you want?
Oh, fuck no. It's almost 2 a.m. Get me the hell out of here.
All right, so good. All right, so let's wrap this up. You mentioned Sweet, so I'll leave you guys with this. I did a wonderful interview with Courtney from Atheist Edge, and it was on relationships, and it's going to be released soon on Atheist Edge. Sweet has seen it and really liked it. It goes into my relationship situation, and I think it is very valuable to talk about certain things. And so when that comes out, I hope you guys watch it. It was one of the better interviews I've had, or topics on this discussion. Atheist Edge has been putting out very good content. I know people have been like going after Atheist Edge, and Atheist Edge has told them to piss off. And thank you for that. This whole tide of cancel culture is backfiring on people immensely. Thank you guys for that. And we're gonna be helping out these channels like Atheist Edge and other things like that, because they have shown integrity. They've shown honor. And I like that. So make sure that you guys watch that thing when I talk about Sweet Heathen. It's pretty good.
Also, Sweet's going to be on my channel on this Tuesday coming up, because it is
she's
that
cool
time of the month.
Oh, it's that's time of the month. Yeah, that's the actual
that time of the month. Yeah. So I'm actually working on intros and stuff for that. For D&D stuff, real quick. I think what the answer is going to be, because a lot of people are saying they want in, I think what we're going to have to do is have a rotating guest. Every so often we'll have to bring somebody in and set something.
Oh, I see Tina's in the live chat. At least someone mentioned her. Tina, a.k.a. Look a Pig, a.k.a. ATP Productions, a.k.a. me.
Wait, Tina's look-a-pig?
Yeah, that was the new thing. Haven't you heard?
Oh shit!
I shit you not. I shit you not.
Trolls.
Yeah, I've actually talked to Tina face to face, like literally, not in real
I've
life.
also talked to
yeah.
I've also talked to Tina and to
She's a hairdresser. That's the I'll cut you. It's about hairdressing. Look-a-pig is not a hairdresser, and Look-a-pig is not female. It's just weird. It's just weird, these accusations that are out there. So.
But I think that's
like people claiming you were without a Crystal Ball's commentary account.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. Thank you guys for watching this. If you got any questions, please talk to me personally. What,
Steve? If you play D&D with us, because you'll be interested in playing, right?
Yeah, I love D&D.
People are saying strip D&D. So essentially, what I would do is I would say, okay, if you roll, everybody picks a number on the D20, and every time they roll that number, they have to lose an article of clothing.
No, I think that's look. I think it should be if you get what is it called, a critical failure?
Yeah, one.
Yeah.
If you roll a 1, you lose an article of clothing.
Yeah, I used to be.
I was thinking about keeping it more interesting by having different numbers.
That would get complicated to keep track of that, wouldn't it? Just critical failure is 1 if you roll it, and then if you roll 20, you get to put one back on. Critical hit.
Oh, you want to be able to put the clothes back on? With
you know what? I think we can stream that to NonSequitur After Dark.
After Dark. Oh, shit.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. Like I said, if you guys got any questions on this, please message me directly, because you're not going to get answers from people that have been lying about this stuff from day one. People that have manipulating things from day one, they're not going to tell you the truth. They're just going to do it for narrative in order to.
Well, keep in mind and keep an eye on people who have been doing that, and then keep an eye on them in the future if you see them popping up, because you know that it's already been demonstrated that they're full of shit.
Yes, exactly. So. All right, guys, I will fill you in tomorrow more once I hear it. Oh, by the way, Dave Thompson's back. Yay. Sorry about that,
Dave.
Yay. Blame
600 seconds.
I would say blame Canada, but blame Chesh.
Listen, I only timed him out. I only hit him by accident, immediately unhit him, and then timed him out for 300 seconds.
That was on purpose.
A little shit.
All right, I'm going to transition us out. So good night, guys. And
I do notice that lawyer never answered my question.
Because he wasn't a lawyer, I don't think. Yeah. Evidence.
Oh.
Yes, evidence. All right. Good night, guys.